Hello. How is everybody tonight? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everybody's having a good hump day. It's hump day. Let's see. Who have I got with me so far before I bring on tonight's panel? Nico, thank you, my friend. Hey, Piz and Pals, or Piz and Pats. Maybe he meant Pats. I don't know. Let's mix it up. Yes, let's do so. I tell you, Nico, if you really want to mix it up, hop in here. All right. You really want to mix it up, hop in here. We've got Future Dead Camper here, who's been a member for 12 months, a full year. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Good evening to you. We also got Mike B here. We got Darren Hackney hanging out with us tonight. How you doing tonight, Darren? Just about to watch Halloween. All right. Everybody's getting into the Halloween spirit. There's Country Shape. How are you? Got Dave here tonight. Great cereal video. Thank you. Thank you. Glad you liked it. Got PlayStation 9 here with us tonight. A7X over on Twitch. What's up? How are you? Got Alex Bacon with us tonight. We got Andy with us tonight. Yeah, cool. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for hanging out with us on this Wednesday night. I'm going to go ahead and bring on my panel and get the ball rolling here. First up, they call this man Swaggy. Swaggy G. How's it going, man?
Great. Yourself, Piz?
Doing pretty good. How you been?
Excellent, man. We had a little bit of rain today in Georgia, but hope everybody's all right down in Florida.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, everybody, all of our Floridian friends, I hope everybody down there is doing well. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, thanks for streaming tonight.
Oh yeah, right on. I was going to do it last night, but you know how things go. So we had to postpone it to tonight. But it's hump day. It's a good day to stream. So yeah, we got a little bit of rain here in Kentucky. It's cooling off a little bit, so that's good. That's good. Also, I was at Walmart today, and they're putting out the Halloween stuff.
Did you pick up anything?
I did, and I shot a video, so I'm going to edit that sucker together. I picked up some cool stuff actually, and Jeremy let me keep one thing. He took the rest. So
do you decorate your yard?
No.
Okay.
No, I used to. I used to back in the day. We lived in more of a suburban neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Not really suburban. I mean, it was what's the word? We had lots of neighbors, put it that way. Where I live now, we kind of we're kind of off the beaten path a little bit. So if I did decorate, it would pretty much just be for me. So, and because the inside of the house is pretty much always decorated.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But we used to back in the day. Yeah. Jeremy and I, we would, we'd decorate. We'd make sure the house looked like, looked very Halloween-y. So we've got like boxes and boxes of Halloween stuff in storage that we, occasionally I'll put something up in here or around the house, but it's like there's just way too much. So,
do you get any trick-or-treaters?
Mm-mm.
I guess not. Yeah.
No, not here. We used to. Jeremy and I loved it, but now we've had to go into witness protection, and it just
you're off the grid.
Off the grid.
Well, I don't know if you're actually off the grid if you're on YouTube and all the other.
I've had a lot of facial work done, so I'm unrecognizable from my past life. So, but it's good to see you as always, Swaggy. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, right on, man. Let's see here. We got Cotton Eye Joe with us tonight. What's up, man? We've also got Matt, Dream Emulator, who says he's going to hop on here later. Got caught up making birria tacos. Is that how you pronounce it? Birria?
I've never heard of that.
If it's tacos, I'm sure I would love it, as would Jeremy. So, got direct to screenwriter here too. What's up? Also with me tonight, we have got the tallest Chris, the official. It's official now.
Yeah.
Tallest Chris, the world's tallest Chris. What's up, man?
Not much, not much. So yeah, I was gonna say, as you guys think about decorating, I know Sam's already started decorating because we went last week because we saw you talk about Cracker Barrel having Halloween stuff.
Oh yeah.
So we went and bought a couple things and bought a couple more things at Hobby Lobby, Michael's to start, make those little Halloween towns, kind of stuff like that. So we're just starting the decorating process this weekend.
Okay. Yeah. Cracker Barrel's always got some good Halloween stuff. All their stuff's good. It's not cheap, but they've got good stuff.
Yeah, we also got some cool stuff from like Ross. We went at the Ross last weekend too, and we got some cool stuff from there. We got their Halloween stuff out.
Okay. All right. So you guys are in the Halloween. You're feeling the spirit, the Halloween
exactly
spirit.
The goth Christmas spirit. Yes.
There you go. The goth Christmas spirit. Exactly. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm feeling it too. In the past couple of days here in Kentucky, like I was saying, have been kind of rainy and dreary, kind of fall looking, So
oh, exactly, yeah, because it rained here on Tuesday and it was amazing. It was like, oh my god, it's not 100 today. So yeah, like so when it falls, the temperature drops like 96, 95, it's like, oh, fall's gonna be here soon.
Yeah. So okay, all right. What's your go-to meal at Cracker Barrel?
The thing is, it's the first time going there in a couple of years, actually.
Okay.
But no, we had breakfast there, and I tried getting their. I went with French toast. Normally, I go with pancakes. I was like, I'm going to try French toast with the caramel apples to try to bring out more fall stuff. It was pretty good. But yeah, Sam got usual kind of steak and eggs kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I like to go for I usually do breakfast anytime we go there. I do breakfast, and Jeremy likes the ham, mashed potatoes, and green beans. And then because I order breakfast, I always get like biscuits and gravy because I'm a Kentucky guy, right? Last time we went, he basically ate all my biscuits and gravy too. he was like tearing up the biscuit and he dip it in the gravy like he dips his chips in the salsa at the Mexican restaurant. And eating it that way, and pretty soon it was all gone. He'd ate them all, so he was hungry that day.
I mean, that gravy, I'll scrape that plate.
Oh yeah, just gravy was good there.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm not wasting any of that.
Oh no, you can't. What's your go-to at Cracker Barrel, Swaggy?
I don't know if the side that I always love is the fried okra. I just feel like a lot of places don't have that anymore. Every now and again, I guess you'll run into a country buffet place and they'll have it. But that's one thing I always seem to order on the side is the okra, the fried okra.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fried okra fan, but I know people, they swear by the fried okra. So.
Oh, yeah. It's like they put a drug in there. It's so just great.
We've got somebody else in the, we were just speak of the devil, and he will appear. And that devil's name is Dream Emulator. What's up, Matt?
What's up?
How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
So is it Bira tacos or is
I
it?
was just looking that up because I.
Okay.
I assume you roll your R's in there somewhere, but I can't do that.
Birria.
Birria.
Right. Birria.
Because it was like more kind of street taco kind of stuff like that. I've seen it around here before.
Yeah, it's like you can use any kind of beef. Like I use beef chuck. You could do like shanks or whatever, with some like dried chilies, grind it up, some oil and some garlic and onions and cilantro.
That sounds like a loaded taco. That sounds good.
Oh yeah. Make your own tortilla, or you get the tortillas, you fry them yourself with cheese in the middle.
Oh. See, I bought these tortillas. They're like low carb.
Oh yeah.
Like healthy tortillas. And they're about that big around. And they're literally like if a drop of sweat hit it, it would just go right through it. It would just dissolve it. They're that thin. And there's literally very little to no taste at all. So it's like there's one carb, and I'm like, where is there even room for the one carb? Because it's tiny, it's tasteless, and it's paper thin. It's like this is just give me the carbs,
Birria tacos is an indulgent meal for sure.
It is. I'll say, Piz, do you like warp your tortillas first, like on a pan?
Well,
Like toast them?
I'll just throw them in the microwave. I'm a simple guy. I'll just throw them in the microwave as long as they're nice and warm. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Good to go. But see, they know me at Moe's so well because I'm there all the time that like a couple of different ladies that work. Like today, I went through the drive-thru and the lady was like, "Honey, I gave you some extra napkins just because you're gonna need them. I made this one extra big for you." And I was like, "Thank you." So, so yeah, it was like this. It was this huge burrito, and I was just like, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Bar Burritos, and it was somebody new that was making the burrito, and it was so big it wouldn't even fold up correctly. Like it was just spitting out the side.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, "Oh yeah, we're in for it today."
Yeah. Well, that's a good burrito. That's a good burrito. Oh man. Yeah. Oh goodness. Oh, what's up, Pat Master? How you doing tonight, man? Hope you're doing well. Oh, there's Nico. There was no bigger bust for me than Skippy's no sugar added peanut butter. Even the rice cakes couldn't save it. All right, cool. Alex says he loves bebia tacos with the soup stew.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. That does sound good. So how have you guys been? Have you seen any good movies lately? Any bad movies? Any movies of mention lately? What about you, Matt? You seen anything good lately?
I gotta check my letterbox. I watched The Sentinel for the first time.
Okay.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so good. I had heard good things about it for a long time. I kind of was just catching up on like my backlog, and I'm glad I crossed that one off. I was surprised at how good it was.
Yeah. That is a really good movie, and you'd be surprised. The same guy who directed The Sentinel also directed Death Wish 3. So
really,
you talk about a total opposite ends of the spectrum there. Yeah, So, but yeah, I love The Sentinel. Great movie. Not enough people talk about it.
Yeah,
but, great movie.
It was on my list for a while. So
absolutely, great movie.
But other than that, not much. Watch The Hunt for Julia.
That's a good one too.
Also very good.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to kind of knock off these heavy hitters that everyone's been telling me to watch for a long time. So glad I finally caught that one too. But
yeah,
I love that movie's ending.
Yes, it's so that's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, great movie.
But
great movie.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just been kind of weird underground shot on video garbage.
well, sometimes I mean, weird underground shot on video garbage. It hits just right. You know, there's
Like I follow Bleeding Skull, and every once in a while they'll post something, and I'm like, I gotta find that thing. So yeah,
some of that though is just so tough to get into because it's just
an acquired taste.
Yeah. I want to give it a shot, but I'm like, this is just so bad. I can't continue with this.
Yeah.
There's hold on. Let me grab something here real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Here we go. So I really like this company, Visual Vengeance, because I mean they're getting these movies like you mentioned, and they're giving them these really nice Blu-ray releases. So I got my hands on Repligator. Repligator. That is a beautiful woman with a gator head holding a weapon. It's got Gunnar Hansen in it. Brink Stevens is in it briefly. And it's so bad. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. But like, I don't know. I can't help but like get a kick out of them because it's like it's people in really bad gator outfits wearing like women's lingerie, and how it's ridiculous, and it's so low budget and it's so bad. But like I don't know. There's just a part of me that
you need to scratch that itch once in a while.
You just need to scratch that itch every now and again. And occasionally one of those really low budget shot on video movies will surprise you. Like their ambition far exceeded their budgets, and so
like house sharks.
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
I don't know about
It's exactly House Shark. You're right. Right on that one. Nail in the head. What's up, Ego? How's it going? Oh geez. So yeah. Swag, have you seen anything good lately? And if anybody in the chat, if you guys have seen anything worth that you want to throw out there, let us know.
Today I went and saw Talk to Me.
Oh, good.
Oh.
And it was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I've only heard like positive reviews about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was creepy. It was very well done. And that lead actress did a great job. I like it being it was an Australian film.
Yeah.
That one is definitely worth seeing. That's worth buying, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Those guys were I don't know if they still do YouTube stuff, but they were YouTubers.
I'd heard that, and I was just like, wow, they really like hit. They knocked this out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the writing was done really well, and it seemed it wasn't cheesy or over the top, and they actually had some, I don't want to say emotion in it, but you understood where the lead actress was going, why there was some emotion behind that,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And apparently they've already a sequel's in the works, or maybe a prequel. Either a sequel or a prequel is already in the works.
I got to thinking about that with what they have. You could tell so many stories. You could easily tell a prequel. You could tell the origin story. You could tell, I guess, the after story. Continue on with that character. I mean, I guess you're eventually just going to run into the same stuff, the same storyline. That might be a problem.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about it. I was like, yeah, you could go before or after this. You could open. It's open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I mean, it'll, I think it had kind of been. It felt like it'd been kind of a slow year for horror, and then Talk to Me really kind of, came out of.
Yeah,
kicked us in the butt. So I really enjoyed it too.
Obviously, I don't see all the stuff that a lot of you guys see. I watch more the older stuff, but to me, it was one of the best I've seen of the newer movies this year.
Yeah, it's got to be my favorite horror movie of the year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, it's way up there. I'd have to look at my letterbox though, but yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of a better horror movie I've seen this year. So,
did you like it over the Last Voyage?
I did, but Demeter'd probably be number 2, to be honest. Demeter'd probably be number 2.
How do you feel about it not doing well in the box office?
I think it's. I mean, we're not going to see any studio horror in that $40-50 million range for a while again, especially unless it's got like a number by it or it's part of like a franchise or something. We're just not going to see that. That's not going to happen again.
That's an expensive movie.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's well done. It obviously takes place on the ship, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, dang, that's tough to make a profit whenever you got to do that.
Yeah, but I mean the money was on the screen though. I mean, it looked great. The sets looked great. The wardrobe looked great. That scene, before they left on the boat, and they had all those extras and all that wardrobe and all that set design. I mean, it was all on screen. I thought it looked more expensive than that, to be honest. But yeah, I think it was poorly marketed. I think it was bad timing. It got completely swallowed up by Barbieheimer. And why are you dropping a movie like this in August? This is an October release, or at least late September release. You know what I mean? So it's just bad timing.
Yeah.
So And it's already streaming. It's already on streaming services.
Oh wow, which
So,
ones?
It's or not streaming. I mean, it's VOD. It's already on.
Oh,
VOD.
okay. Gotcha.
So.
I do like how Universal has released 2 Dracula movies that are totally different with the Renfield and that. You know, it's like they're throwing it out there, giving you different takes of it. You know.
Yeah.
I know both of them. They didn't do very well.
No, we probably won't see much vampire stuff for a while again either, because of Renfield and Demeter not doing well.
I thought about even the title of it kind of hurt it because a lot of people wouldn't even know what that is.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed kind of. It seemed niche because unless you kind of knew it was a Dracula thing, because it seemed like in the beginning they weren't trying to market it with Dracula. Like it's just people on a ship. Here's a monster eating them all, and then it seemed like later they were like, oh, but this is Dracula. This is a Dracula movie. So people who went into it expecting a Dracula movie are like, well, wait a minute, we're just seeing this creature. That's not the Dracula I know. Yeah. But so yeah, it's too bad.
Well, isn't Roger Ebert putting out Nosferatu still?
Nosferatu, yeah.
That I am extraordinarily excited for.
I'm extremely excited for that too. Anything Robert Eggers does, I'm on board for. So, and especially if it's going to be Nosferatu, it'll be weird and grimy and
need subtitles.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. So I'm excited for it. Yeah, and that Skarsgård guy's just in everything now. He's everything. He's Pennywise. He's the Crow. Now he's Nosferatu. He's gonna be something else too. I heard. What was it? I don't remember. But he's like the horror guy now.
He does a good job.
He does. He really does. That's true. He really does.
This is that other movie that was really good. I mean, he was just playing like a normal person.
Oh, he was in Barbarian.
That's
it.
Yeah.
Barbarian. Yeah. Yeah, he was good in that because like you didn't know, like that was one of the great things about Barbarian was like if you went into it cold, you really had no idea where it was going to go and who to trust and was he trustworthy, and then like you realized really quickly, I guess he was.
Yeah, it's just hard return after hard return. And you're like, what's going on?
yeah. So I like Barbarian a lot. I'm still holding out hope it'll get a physical media release now that they're finally putting Prey out.
It was supposed to. There were rumors for a long time, but no, I don't think anyone's heard anything in like over a year.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I'm glad that Prey is getting a physical media release. I wasn't a huge fan, but hopefully, if Prey happens, we'll get the Hulu Hellraiser, we'll get the Netflix Chainsaw, and Barbarian.
Yeah.
It's weird how that's changed because at one time it was just automatic that it would come out, physical media. You wouldn't even think about it. And now it's like, well, they're holding on to it because they want you to subscribe to their service, which that makes sense to me on the money end. But whatever.
Yeah, I hate that model. I hate that model of like, well, the subscription, because you don't own it, of course. I mean, you're just paying to basically have it on demand until they remove it, or you know what I mean? So I hate that model.
They're very picky about what, if anything, they release on physical, like Stranger Things.
Course.
But other than that, it's like it's not a whole lot that they're willing to gamble on. And especially with everything that's going on now, I don't know if they're willing to take that risk.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems kind of weird because the Hellraiser and Chainsaw, they've got franchises behind them. They have people who are going to buy those, whether they like them or not, just to add them to the collection. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, maybe a boutique label one day will pick it up, but God, that's like.
Yeah.
Ooh, who knows? 10 years from now, maybe.
Yeah. It'll be like $50.
Yeah. Right.
Nico makes a good point here. Disney is destroying all things 20th Century Fox. There ought to be a law. Very true. Very true. Nico also mentioned that he had picked up oh God, where did that go? Oh, a 5-disc German 4K box of Argento's opera today.
Wow.
5 discs. Damn. Are we talking about like multiple cuts of opera with like tons of extras and like a soundtrack, or what are we talking about here? I love opera, by the way. Opera doesn't get enough love. So, but that's cool. Very cool.
Germany gets all the cool stuff.
I know they do. They do. There's no doubt about it. Nico's going to be seeing Talk to Me tomorrow. That's cool. No, I've not checked out The Abomination yet, Scratch. That one's next on the list. So, yes, I think probably all of us are underwhelmed by the Exorcist trailer.
I was going to comment on that because I saw Nico talk about that. So I actually finally watched Exorcist 1 and 3 a couple weeks ago for the first time.
Oh.
Because I saw Exorcist 2 like years ago, like USA Up All Night or something like that. It's like, I've seen Exorcist because I have a bad habit of being an accidental hipster. Because if something is such in the zeitgeist of society, I feel like I've already seen the movie. Because everybody knows about Exorcist, everybody knows about the spooky scenes or whatever. But actually watching it for myself, it's like, oh, nobody actually who talks about Exorcist being scary actually understands what's going on. So I enjoyed Exorcist way more for watching it for myself than listening to what everybody else talks about. Same thing for Exorcist 3. That was really good as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you watched the second one was your first taste
experience. Yeah.
Isn't that considered one of the worst sequels ever made?
It is. But I'm glad we're talking about The Exorcist 2 because the biggest Exorcist 2 fan is backstage waiting to hop on.
Uh-oh.
And I'm sure they'll defend it tooth and nail. So just be prepared. Go ahead, Lauren. Defend the heretic.
I don't defend any Exorcist that doesn't have anything to do with Blatty. That's just it.
But you said Harlan. Renee Harlan's Exorcist was the best, I thought. You muted yourself. Or you pulled a plug. Okay. It was Pazuzu.
Yeah, exactly. But what I was going to say, though, is after seeing Exorcist 1 and 3, now I have an even more hatred for the new Exorcist trailer. Because before I was like, this looks terrible. Now I was like, oh my God, this looks horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about it is it just, to me, it just looks very... It looks just water. It looks
generic.
Generic is a good word. Mm-hmm. It looks watered down. You know they're not going to take it. They're not going to. It's going to be a safe Exorcist. Like, ooh, yes. the little kid said a dirty word. Ooh, demon possessed. You know what I mean?
Where does this fit in the timeline? Is this supposed to be like a reboot or like a sequel? Or
it's a sequel boot. Linda Blair is in it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Faye Dunn or the actress, the mom is back. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if they've confirmed that Linda Blair's back, but she's back. She's going to be in there somewhere.
They've hinted hard at it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
she'll be in there somewhere.
Yeah, because it's Believer, then Deceiver, then the Secret Air Bud remake, Golden Retriever.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. It's going to be a trilogy too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
see, talk about counting your Pazuzus before they hatch. You know what I mean? It's like let's wait and see if this one. Ellen Burstyn, thank you, Cliff. Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to do as bad as when Universal tried relaunching the Monsters as a Universal kind of like movies universe, and the Mummy did so bad they canceled everything. So out of like Exorcist wants to be this new Exorcist be so bad they cancel everything after this.
I mean, it could happen. If it tanks big time, maybe, or they'll dump the other one, or they'll make them wrap everything up. They'll say, "Screw the trilogy. You got to finish everything in Deceiver, and we're going to put that on whatever this Universal streaming platform is, just to get it out there." So. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it looks just kind of generic. They're not gonna go, to the places that The Exorcist or even Exorcist 3 went. It just looks like every other possession movie that we've had over the past 20 years. There's nothing about it says Exorcist to me. So
exactly. And I was going to say is after seeing now Exorcist 1 and 3, I understand more of what everybody kind of loses in that. They think the possession is the most scary part. And yes, it's scary, but it's a build up to that. So the Exorcist 1, definitely it's feeling out of control because you can't help your loved one. You have this two polar people where it's the father who's falling out of his religion because he couldn't save his mother. And then it's because he doesn't have money, because he's poor. And then you have the rich actress who can't save her daughter, who's not religious at all, even though she's throwing all the money at the world. So it's kind of the combination of both, of just trying to help your loved ones and you're powerless to help them. And as it kind of builds and builds and builds to the possession.
And I think it might have been Lauren. He's gone now. Don't rest in peace. But I think he mentioned before, it's really more of a family drama. It's a horror movie, but the foundation is a family drama.
And likewise,
really where the fear comes
exactly. And likewise, at Exorcist 3, it was a lot of family drama between him overworking himself, worrying about his daughter, his wife, his best friend. It's a lot of drama that happens to have possession in it.
Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of possession movies, is they just focus on the possession and being like, oh, look how spooky we can make this person look. It's like, well, that's not.
Yeah,
that's cheap.
Yeah. And I mean, the Exorcist is just so intense and so brooding, and it just has this vibe about it that, I mean, like you're never going to recapture. I mean, it's pretty close for the third one, but the third one I feel like kind of does its own thing. It's sort of a possession mystery, murder mystery thing.
It was like a crime drama almost.
Yeah,
it's like a police procedural.
Yeah, exactly. Police procedural.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing, though, is I was going to say, that's what I'm kind of getting to. It's they earn the scares because it's a build up for all this time, and then just kind of the big thing. Even like the theme that everybody talks about being super scary. It's in the movie twice. Like one, which is randomly walking to her house, and then the very end credits.
Wise Guy says that Linda Blair filmed for 2 days, rumored to be a flashback death scene. Okay. Interesting. No, I did not grab the Maximum Overdrive coffee mug, but I'm tempted. I was tempted. It and the My Bloody Valentine mug. I was tempted.
So is it the Green Goblin on the mug, or what is it?
Green Goblin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yes.
Pat Master mentioned 1993 Campfire Tales. That's one of the worst anthologies I've ever seen in my life. With Gunnar Hansen. Has anybody seen that?
I remember renting it.
A
million years ago. I don't remember very much about it. It's
awful.
It has a very dedicated fan base. I've been tempted to go back and see if I can find it. Which I'm sure it's out there somewhere, bootleg.
It's only a VHS rip, as far as I can tell. But
but it's got a very dedicated fan base. I've been tempted to go back and see what's the hubbub about, because I don't really remember anything about it.
It's pretty freaking. Poor Gunnar Hansen's trying his hardest, and that's the only real reason to watch it.
That's 2 Gunnar Hansen references. He's in Replicator too. Right. So let's throw out there Mosquito and make it a trifecta. Mosquito's awesome, though. Mosquito's freaking awesome.
I saw that on Sci-Fi Channel. It was really good.
Oh yeah, so good, so fun. I mean, at the end, you have Gunnar Hansen, of course, grabbing a chainsaw and chainsawing through giant bloodthirsty mosquitoes. Yeah, it's great stuff. Oh, Lord have mercy. So yeah, I don't. I'm gonna see The Exorcist, the Believer or whatever, when it comes out, but I mean, I have my hopes are kind of in the basement. So maybe that's a good thing. Even if I have my expectations so low, I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, hey, Lauren's back.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
We can hear you.
So that was fun. I hate life. Hey, before I talk Exorcist, I want to go back a second. I have an answer for people wondering why Disney is actually giving Prey a physical release. There's an actual answer to this. They've shut down discs in a lot of territories recently. These discs were already in the pipeline for those areas. They just shifted them to us. It's not a change of any plans. They were already in the queue. That's what's happening. So it's great if you love these movies, but it's not like, and the television series, which is the big thing they did, but it's not a sea change for them. Sorry. That brought the mood way down.
No, well, you're good.
But it makes sense, right?
It's good to have it, at least. I mean, I kind of liked Prey. It was okay.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Prey. I'm not a big Predator fan, so I'm okay with it, with taking my time getting to it.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I haven't hated any Predator movie anyway. I just kind of shrug at all of them. So I'm sure this will be another in that long line of shruggable films.
I mean, it's better than The Predator and Predators, but not as good as Predator 1 or 2.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit more forgiving of The Predator and Predators than most people are. So I mean, again, I think all the films are kind of like okay.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch them on a regular, but they're fine.
I mean, I had fun with them, but
they all have something.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you didn't think it was 100% believable to watch Adrian Brody beat a predator to death? Because I thought it was perfectly.
I think all the movies have some serious problems if you evaluate them. So I'm cool with it. Whatever. I'll tell you what. Like that last one had plenty wrong with it, but I'm telling you that ensemble cast is fun to watch.
Oh, it was.
Like, yeah, I mean, like those like vet actors, all just like all tough guy actors, but all insane this time. That was some great Shane Black stuff right there. The problem was it just didn't belong in a Predator movie, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll tell with that series, I'll take what I can get and what I can enjoy. Because I didn't have the reaction I think you guys all had, like the original film, you all like started salivating over.
I still do.
That movie's badass.
See, I don't. That's the thing. And like, I think it's fine. I think the mythology of the Predators makes no sense, but whatever. But I'll see Prey eventually, definitely. But that's why it's getting a physical release. If you love the movie, though, pick it up because it's not going to be repressed, so it's going to go out of print real fast, I think. Because again, they were already. Everything is like 8 months out right now at the discoveries because there's less of them than there ever has been before. So if you have a spot in line, you don't give it up. So these discs were getting pressed. So they just got pressed as region A's instead.
Okay.
So enjoy them. If you like those Marvel TV shows, buy them, I guess. You can have my copies because they don't exist. And enjoy that because this is an unexpected surprise.
Okay.
Hey, Piz, how are you, man? It's been forever.
I'm good. How are you? Have you seen any good movies lately?
I feel like the answer to that is talk to me, and that's about it.
Okay. You like the Demeter?
Oh no, I did. I like Demeter quite a lot. I'm sorry. That's just a brainwash there. I don't know why. Yeah, Demeter. Last Voyage of Demeter was definitely the best thing America has shat out this year.
I still didn't see that. It actually looks good to me.
Yeah.
It does look good. I think Piz and I kind of compared a little bit of notes on this, and I think we came to some the same big points anyway. It's not perfect, but it's pretty great. It takes the genre serious. The biggest thing I think I was surprised by is it's a Dracula movie without Dracula in it. I mean, he's there, but the character's not there. There is a vampire on a boat. That is definitely the case. Whether it's Dracula or not, they say he is. Basically, it could be any monster, I guess, right?
Yeah, I feel like that kind of hurt it because he was just an unstoppable creature, and there was not much character to that.
No, no, he could have easily been the shark from Jaws.
Yeah, I mean, it's if I compared it, it's Alien. It's Alien on a boat, but with a creature Dracula instead of a xenomorph.
See, that's what I was thinking. That's why it looked interesting to me because I liked Alien, the whole feeling alone and like this giant monster trying to eat everybody. That suspense kind of stuff. But I was like, speaking of Jaws, everybody see Meg 2?
Yeah.
I have not yet.
It was fun.
I've heard good things about it. Well, I've heard it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more fun than the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a good film, but I'd say
no, it's not good. But it's
I'd
fun.
say I had fun with it though. And that's a big win for this year, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not going to end up in my top 10 for the year, but my top 10 for the year has one American film on it, and that's Demeter. Literally, everything else is from abroad. Because Talk to Me is an Australian film.
Right.
Don't worry.
Right.
Exorcist Believer is going to shoot up that chart for you.
Yes.
Listen, I just got called out on this for criticizing the film before I saw it, and mind you, I know like everything about this movie, and it's everything you're fearing it is. But I'm still holding out hope. I'll watch it, and if it surprises me, if all the bad ideas work, cool. It's happened a few times before. It's also backfired a lot. This franchise just does not have a good history without Blatty around it. That's what it comes down to. And Blatty's son has seen the film, and he says that his father would have hated it. So that does not inspire anything. And then the full plot synopsis I read, which is completely confirmed by the trailer, is like to say not promising is an understatement. I think the third act is going to really. I mean, there'll be some fanboys that love it, I guess, but I think everyone else is going to really fucking hate it. So, good luck with that. I hope everyone loves it.
I don't know. Well,
do you think it's going to make money? Is my real question though, because I think it has an opening weekend. I don't think it has anything beyond that.
I mean, they've already invested how much money into it?
Yeah.
So I mean, for it to break even, it's going to have to put up big numbers.
I'm afraid of it actually making a ton of money, because if it does, it's just going to submit to Hollywood, only do sequels, nothing original.
Well, I think they've been on that boat for a while.
It's just more evidence for them to do that.
I know. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
They're releasing it at a good time. It's October. It's a horror. I don't think that the Exorcist name will draw in as many people. It's not going to draw in the same kind of people. It's not going to draw in the amount of people that a name like Halloween does. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have that much street credit, I think.
But it has been a long
Yeah.
Sure.
But
I think that's a strength. I think the absence is a strength. I think.
Right, but does a younger audience, do they even really know what The Exorcist is, other than like maybe they've seen some memes or they've heard people talk about it, but I don't know. They're releasing it at a good time. It's October, so I mean people are going to be in the mood to watch horror.
A lot of competition.
And since it has some name recognition, that may put it above some of the other stuff that's going to be out. They've invested so much on it. I mean, what is it, like 400 million at least?
So here's the problem.
That's insane.
But here's the problem. It comes out on the 13th, right? And then on the 17th, both Five Nights at Freddy and Saw 10 come out.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it has a weekend, and then it gets steamrolled no matter what. But I think there's an older audience that'll show up for The Exorcist that won't show up for, especially Five Nights at Freddy is dead for the over 40 crowd. That movie is not on their map. Whereas the younger people go to Spirit Halloween, they see all the Reagan stuff. I'm thinking it's possible. I don't know. The television series was a couple of years ago. Yeah. The original film has reaction videos from like fucking millennials on YouTube. I don't know. I think, unfortunately, maybe this Exorcist Believer might have a big opening weekend, but I think it hits a brick wall the next week. I
totally agree. I think it's going to come out with a bang, and then that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Lauren, because Five Nights at Freddy's is definitely a young audience for that. So they're going to like absorb all those bucks and all that money.
And then people
Saw X,
for
kind of like
anyone my age or younger until you get to the late millennials. Saw is going to work for them as a Halloween release. I just don't know if there's enough oxygen in the room for Exorcist at that point, and especially if what I think is going to happen, which is that the word of mouth is going to be extremely mixed, but it's going to be love it or hate it. It's going to be very much in the range of the Halloween trilogy we just completed, whereas the Defenders are out in full strength, but they increasingly, as time goes on, are in the minority. I think that's going to happen with this, but I think it's going to happen on a very expedited time period.
Yeah.
I don't see a chance of this being a trilogy. I don't.
So Universal paid $400 million for the rights, just for the rights. That's not the budget of the movie.
Yeah.
Just to purchase the rights. So they're $400 million in the hole.
And that's only film rights. That's not television. It's just film.
Right. And that's before they shot One Frame. So I mean, and then I heard they had to pay Ellen Burstyn a fortune to get her back. So then you're talking about production budget on top of that, marketing, yada yada yada. You're talking about a lot of this. They're already deep in the hole on this thing.
And they had to pay Linda Blair buy her a cheeseburger or something to come back, right? That's a joke because she wouldn't eat a cheeseburger. Get it?
And they had to do reshoots, so I mean that's costly. I mean they're in the hole a lot for this thing. You know what I mean? So
I also wonder, with these three movies being so close together, it almost feels like generational divides, where it's kind of like Gen X and older be more for Exorcist, elder millennials be kind of for Saw X, and then kind of like the Zoomer crowd would be for FNAF. What that kind of feels like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be very divided. I think, yeah, I think they'll be like Lauren was, and like we've said, they'll be the group that's just for Five Nights. They'll go watch Five Nights. They're not going to care about Saw or Exorcist, and the same thing. The Exorcist crowd's not going to care. If it's Five Nights at Freddy's or The Exorcist for me, I'm watching The Exorcist over Five Nights at Freddy's. So
I'm probably gonna watch Five Nights because I know a little bit of the lore and I like Matthew Lillard. So, but if I was doing double feature, I'd probably see both of them.
See, we've talked about like time frames. When I first heard that they were making a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, my knee-jerk reaction was like, aren't they like 5 years at least too late? Because like the kids who were playing that game when it was super popular are like in college or in their careers at this point. They're not playing the game anymore. Will nostalgia kind of bring them back to it, or
what's also the games are still going
too?
Yeah, the games are still going. The lore is still going. They have a book series. They have like a ton of stuff still going to this day for that game.
Okay. I had no idea that it was still popular.
Oh yeah, it's stupid. Still popular.
Oh, okay.
It's not as big as it was before, but there's still enough there to support the movie.
Loyal fan base, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So I guess the other thing that we're looking at is, of course, Nun 2 still being on in the world.
I tried forgetting that, Lauren.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna play a role whether we like it or not. That film is a film that has no right to be popular or make money based on the first film, in my opinion. But yeah, it's gonna. Let's just be real. Haunting in Venice which is a fake horror movie, but it has Disney's promotional budget behind it and the goodwill from the previous films. That might still be in some forms still out there. So that's definitely a thing. I don't know. It's a busy season.
You see, would you consider The Exorcist Believer a hit? Well, I guess it depends on how much they actually paid to make the movie. But would you say, I mean, if it made $100 million, I'd be shocked.
I wouldn't be, but I'm going to tell you something. Here's the problem with Exorcist Believer. It's not about the cost of the film. The cost of the film has already made it that the film is not making back its money. They know that. They're investing in it as a trilogy.
The trilogy.
Not as a single film. They're taking that $400 million and dividing it into 3 and then production value. That's what they're doing. Whether that's a smart move is a different issue. What I think is the problem with this is that the audience that loves The Exorcist are never going to see a film they think is better than The Exorcist. Right? Part 3 exists, and yes, it has its fans, which increasingly includes me, that think it's a better film. And that sounds like heresy, but I think I'm there. But you know what? The chances of that happening again, even to that small scale that it does happen with 3 for Believer, is really remote. So you're already dealing with, it's not going to be anyone's favorite of the series. Probably. Is it going to be better than Heretic beginning? You know what? It'll probably be a more polished film than any of those. The Schrader film is very polished. It's also boring as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know who's. The thing is, I don't think the audience, although I think it's a big audience that has a big awareness, it's a legendary title. I'm not sure how you actually win that fight. Like, how do you make the movie that's going to live up to that? Like, that's the Mount Rushmore of horror you're going up against. And this isn't a silly, like, slasher thing, whereas, listen, you make an okay Friday the 13th, you're fine, okay? That's just reality. You can't make an okay Exorcist film and that be okay.
But were there even people clamoring for a new Exorcist movie? Like, I can't think of a single person who was like, I want a new Exorcist.
No.
Studio execs.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's
all.
a
It's like, oh yeah, whatever.
I mean, it's probably just a case of like, well, what franchises do we have?
Who's got Hellraiser,
Exorcist, you know. So,
but also, I was going to say is I was going to agree with Lauren since I saw both 1 and 3 recently. I do like 3 a little more, and I think it's because of George C. Scott just really carrying that movie. And does Believer have any kind of heavy actor who can just carry those scenes and eat all that scenery up and just spit it out?
Here's the funny thing about that. The character they need to do that is one they're not featuring in the trailer. That's a bad sign.
Oh.
Wow, that's interesting. So they're like hiding the lead actor in the trailer
for the third act, yeah.
Wow.
So it very much has the structure of the original film, whereas Marin is a background character until he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I'd heard that they had gone after Jason Patrick to play like the priest in the movie, and he read the script and was like, "Screw you."
That's absolutely true, by the way.
Because Jason Patrick's dad played.
Jason Miller, yeah,
Jason Miller. He played Father
Karras.
Karras, yeah. In the so
that's true.
That would have been kind of cool to see that happen. But I mean, Patrick was like, "Yeah, no, screw you." So
they went with Plan B, and what a Plan B it is.
I know I've got to look this up and see who this person is because
is it Plan B for bomb?
I'm interested to see who this person is.
Oh, it's not going to be a surprise. It's not when you see it, you're going to be like, "Oh no!" But I just, I'm not saying like things are sacred and we shouldn't touch them, but when something reaches the level of Exorcist, that has defined a genre, do you really think it's a smart move? It's like when they remade Psycho. I mean,
I was just thinking that, like
it's
the smart
scene. Doesn't matter how good you make it. It's not going to be Psycho.
No.
Like, so I love Psycho 2. I think Psycho 2 is one of the great horror films of its era. And it pains me to say this, but it's not Psycho.
Yeah, I mean, just leave it. I mean, yeah. There's just some. I mean, just we've said this before, but I mean, unless your name's Friedkin or Blatty, you shouldn't touch The Exorcist. So, just leave it be. Leave it be.
And they're both dead, so it's like.
Yeah, let that die. Let The Exorcist die.
I think they died for a reason. It's like, I ain't seen this.
When I heard that William Friedkin had passed away, of course I was like, we've lost another legend. What a tremendous filmmaker. He's the kind of voice that we really needed now to remind people of what movies can do, and like, screw all this sensitive stuff and screw all this PC culture. Let's make a real movie. But part of me also was like, damn, I really wanted to hear him just absolutely destroy The Exorcist Believer. Like, I wanted to hear him just annihilate it. But that's not going to happen, Jeez.
You know what's this is where horror fandom is, though, right? I'm in an FYE and I'm flipping through their vinyl, and the Prom Night soundtrack is there on vinyl for $40. And I sit there and go, no one actually wants this. Like, you have your prom night fans. I'm not one of them. I think it's a fairly tame, boring film. But anyone want horror disco? Anyone can listen to that?
What is it, like an original pressing or something?
No, it's a new pressing.
It's repressing.
Yeah, it's new pressing. But it's that's where horror fandom is at this point. They're so desperate to figure out those old chestnuts to pull out and make some money off of, rather than make new, fun, good, innovative stuff that's going to have new fans. And that's kind of crazy, right?
Well, we don't go anywhere new if there's nothing new being made.
But there is. That's the problem. Like, it's just not happening domestically.
Right.
Talk to Me became very close to not being an A24 film, and none of you guys would know it exists.
Yeah, true.
I don't think that's mean to say. I think it's just how it is. Australia has a thriving film community. How many Australian films do you see in a year? That's part of the problem, right? Yeah. They speak English. It's not even a language.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Christian may say I didn't understand any dialogue, but I was okay.
Big Crack Rock always coming in with some laughs. I bought the complete Five Nights bundle on Steam and then realized you just look at screens.
Yep, pretty much.
It's funny. Yeah, I mean, Friedkin, yeah, Killer Joe, that's a really good one. Not a lot of people mention. I actually forgot that one when I was going down my list of favorite Friedkin films. Like, I mean, yeah, Killer Joe's great. So
isn't a list of favorite Friedkin films just a list of all the Friedkin films except for Guardian?
Pretty much all of them except Guardian. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, everybody's got to have like one little, stumble.
Did you see Guardian in theaters when it came out?
Oh God, no! I saw it. I rented it on video, and I never revisited it.
I was so excited, and I sit down in the Washington Twins Cinema, which is this like beaten down cinema, which I loved. It was my neighborhood cinema. I'm there, and I'm like, this is the guy who has like the French Connection and The Exorcist and Sorcerer. I'm like, this is the guy, and this very routine, even timid, and kind of cheesy. It looks like a late night cable movie. It starts rolling. I'm like, did they play the wrong fucking movie? What is this? And then we get to the end with the chainsaw fight with the tree, which may be the dumbest climatic horror like showdown of all time. It's like an outtake for like something that Sam Raimi said, it was a good idea, but let's not use that in Evil Dead 3.
Was that movie messed with at all by the studio? Or is that what he wanted it to be?
I have never investigated why.
Yeah, I guess
Guardian looks like the Guardian looks. All I know is it's the Guardian. And I think I saw Raising Cain like about at the same time, and it's like I was like, Brian De Palma still got it because that movie rocks. So you think, oh well, maybe the 70s guys are going to back to save cinema, because this is you got to understand at that time like horror was not in a great place, and we're hoping for someone to come in and save it. I'm like the 70s guys, and William Friedkin drops his only disaster on us.
Alex Movie Collector mentions Rampage. That's another one I remember renting back in the day, and I remember liking. I don't remember too much about it specifically, but I remember liking it a lot. And for some reason, I don't think it's ever made the jump from VHS to any other format. Not sure why, but I definitely remember it being good. You've seen Rampage, right, Lauren?
Yeah.
It's
a good film. I mean, it might feel slight compared to some of his other films, but it's kind of, I mean, that and Bug, I mean, right, are the kind of like him slowing down and saying, let me do something introspective and kind of intense rather than, there's really no spectacle, right? It's
No.
But I think those movies work, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take those over a guy fighting a demon in a tree with a chainsaw any day.
And I also, I know I've mentioned this one before, but I'll mention it again. I love The Hunted with Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro. Really good movie. Not a lot of people have seen that one, unfortunately, but definitely worth checking out. Actually, Nico says The Guardian was messed with by Friedkin. Actually, I don't. Maybe maybe he was just at a dark point in his life, and he was like, I don't know. And I actually like Terrence Malick's Tree of Life, Nico. I like that movie. Gravedank just finished watching Edge of the Axe. Very nice. Love Edge of the Axe. Good one. Good one. Let's see here. I know we've talked about this before, about Netflix's ending, their delivery of physical media, and Swaggy is, I think, the last person on the planet who's receiving those DVDs. But did they not say, like, just take them? Like, what? Don't even send them back. Just take them. Aren't they just giving them away at this point? Swaggy?
Now they released something that said all the way up to a certain point, you have to return them. Mm-hmm. And then you can enter in to where I think it's like after September the 29th is when it's going to end. And if you get selected, they'll send you 10 of the discs that you have still left on your list, and you can keep those discs.
Okay.
So it's not everybody's going to get that. I mean, all you do is just email them basically, and you'll be included in that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was something that Bog Zombie, one of your followers, he sent me that. And he gave me some good ones to look. And they don't have everything, obviously. So I looked up Fright Night 2. They don't have that. But he mentioned a lot of ones that I've never heard of. Monster Man. Are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah, I've heard Monster. Yep.
Tiffany Shepard's film. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me a list of excellent. He said these are just rare movies. They might not be great movies, but that was one that they actually did have. So I added it, and then let me look at my list. What he told me. And another one was Faust.
Oh, with the Brian Yusta film. I don't remember much about that one.
That is, yeah, I see little shades.
I hope you don't get that, sir.
It is
or if you get it, sell it fast, make the money.
I put The Empty Man on there
scenes just to watch, to be like, what the hell is happening? Then I would get rid of it. Yeah,
it's pretty craptacular.
Yes.
But The Empty Man, if you can get The Empty Man, yeah, that's a good one. What are some other good out of print discs that should be on Swaggy's list?
Let me pull up what he sent me, because he sent me like 10 movies that he was like, you should check these out. Let's see if they have. Let's see here. The Gray Man from 2007.
Oh, the serial killer movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I've seen that one.
It's okay.
Mr. Ice Cream Man.
I don't know that.
That's from 1996.
I recall seeing the cover at the video store.
He said try to get Count Dracula from 1977, like the BBC series. Let's see here. Home Sweet Home. I've never heard of that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh my
TV
goodness. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. You've got Body by Jake as a.
It's like a Thanksgiving slasher, isn't it? Something like that.
Just get it.
Yeah.
Is it recent or
no?
No. Okay.
I'm surprised that even got a DVD. I thought that
only saw a VHS rip. That's all I've seen.
I thought it was trapped on tape too.
It could be.
Unless it's a different Home Sweet Home.
No, I feel like Home Sweet Home had it might not still, but I thought there was a DVR service that had it. One of them, Warner Select or someone had it as a burn on demand. I feel like that's true. I might be wrong.
That's a
I found his list. He said, Cheerleader Camp, Home Sweet Home, Servants of Twilight.
I love Servants of Twilight. It's a Dinar Kuntz adaptation that actually works better than the novel Twilight. Great cast. It's tight. It's about a cult that abducts a kid. It's great.
I've heard of it. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's definitely the best time. I'm not a huge Kuntz fan, but it's the best adaptation of Kuntz by far. It's way better than any of the Watchers or any of that shit. Cameron's Closet or any of that shit.
The Clown Murderers, 1976. The American Astronaut, 2004. The Woman in Black, 1989.
Yeah, it's a British TV movie. It's one of the greatest films ever made for television. Yeah, you need that. That's available though. That is in print currently. So I mean, if you don't get it, buy it.
What are the odds of this? On his list that he sent me, it's Campfire Tales was on there.
Oh god.
1991.
That's funny. It's worth watching if you can get it. Your mileage may vary.
Kenny and Company, 1976.
Don Coscarelli. Yeah, if you can get it, get it.
Cabin by the Lake, 2000.
It's fun. It's fun.
Midnight Hour.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of
I
course.
love Midnight Hour so much. It'll never get a proper release. So yes, I mean, if Anchor Bay put it out without full rights,
if they have that, you should. I mean, yeah, you should. That's yeah.
And if you can't, there is a really gray market French disc out there that you can purchase. It's not under the title Midnight Hour, but it's out there. But I grew up on it. It's fantastic. LeVar Burton's in it.
It's great. Yeah.
No, it is Halloween.
Yeah, if you can get your hands on that one, for sure.
And the Smiths would love to make some money.
Oh yes, yes.
How about this one? Blood-sucking pharaohs from Pittsburgh.
It's trash, but you'll like it.
Oh, man. That one sounds really good.
Sounds like it's probably on YouTube.
Temper those expectations. Do you like films like I don't know, like those 70s extremely cheap gore flicks from Lewis and cats like that, Al Adamson, those kind of like ultra cheap. If you like that stuff, you'd like it. Amateur acting, amateur special effects like Meatball Sauce, that type of stuff.
Okay.
That's what you're looking at. And I'm not talking even like, not even as good as Blood Feast. You got to be ready.
I think he had something on here that was like that. Blood Freak was what he said.
Blood Freak, Killer Turkey Man film. I'm there. It's psychotronic cinema at its absolute best. An Elvis imitator turns into a turkey man and kills people. And here's the thing. Jesus saves everyone in the end. It's an amazing film. Blood Freak. It was on Something Weird forever. Absolutely. You have to see it to believe it. It's nuts. Wait. I can sell it to you even better. An Elvis impersonator that's been in a real life motorcycle accident that left half his face scarred in a fire. That's your lead.
I like it.
Yeah.
This ain't the shit we should see made today,
huh? Lost Tune says regarding Friedkin, he omitted 2 films out of his biography, The Guardian and Deal of the Century. I don't know if I've even heard of Deal of the Century.
It's not the Guardian, it's just the shit. It's the worst film.
Nico's holding out hope for like a new cheerleader camp release. I was told that whatever the issues are with cheerleader camp, like it's never going to happen. What those issues are, like it'll never happen. I actually heard that the Midnight Hour was closer to getting a new release than cheerleader camp will ever get.
Will it have the music rights resolved? Though?
See, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
A lot of money that's going to get tied up and freeing that up. The soundtrack to Midnight Hour, if you don't know, I mean, it opens with Classics 4, Little Red Riding Hood. It has a lot of great 50s rock and roll. And it has the feelings, even though it's set in the 80s, it has the feelings of the 1950s throughout the movie. But the big thing is How Soon Is Now's main riff is liberally used throughout the film.
It's all over it,
without permission. So Johnny Marr would love to see this film released because he'd get paid a lot of goddamn money.
So
Brian Trash loves Blood Freak too.
There we go.
Brian Trash knows what's up.
Some blood freak love there. Here's one I would add to the list too. I know you threw out there a Tiffany Shepis movie. It's a movie called The Hazing, directed by
Poster's right there.
oh God, who directed it? The guy who did There's Something Out There. Rolf Konevsky. Konevsky. Yeah. That's a fun one. Got Brad Dourif in it. Fun movie.
I think it's on my top 25 films of all time. It's one of my favorite films. When I handed the poster to Tiffany to sign it, she refused to take my money and talk to me for like a half hour about the film because she feels it's the strongest thing in her catalog. It's amazing. She's amazing in it for a lot more reasons than you're thinking if you've seen the movie. Everyone is really good in the film. You'll recognize all the actors. That's the crazy thing. Everyone has done work in genre. It's great. That film is stylish and cool. It feels way bigger than its budget. The score is great. Everything about that movie is great, and it only exists as a DVD today.
And Rolf Konevsky also directed Monster Man. I would, if your choices are The Hazing or Monster Man, I would do The Hazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So there you go. There's some good flicks there for you to take home from Netflix. Now there was at least one movie I did rip off from Netflix, and I feel bad about it to this day. It was out of print. I rented it, and I was like, yeah, it was broken when I got it. So, and I just kept it. Yeah, I did it. Hey, I was a desperate man, but.
I think the company has survived the impact of your
It took them a while to rebound from it. They've done well.
That was whenever they cracked down on all those password sharing.
that was the straw that broke the camel's back right there.
But the strangest thing about when I was getting the actual physical releases through the mail is they just put them in a. I mean, I don't know if they still do that in paper.
Yeah.
And how more of them didn't arrive destroyed? I think maybe of all the ones I rented through the mail, I think maybe one was actually kind of cracked or broken, and the rest I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they did it.
But that's how they still do it too.
Wow.
And that hasn't changed. You open it from the one end, pull it out, and then it just seals back up. You just drop it right back in the mail.
They probably only continued the service because they still had envelopes.
That's probably it.
You find out, we got to stop. There's no more envelopes. We're not ordering more. That's not happening.
Yeah,
they're like Swaggy is gonna have 7 more discs come to him, and then we're ending the service.
They should really do something special for those of you who are still getting the discs. I mean, they should honestly send all of y'all those little swag packs with the cool stuff in it. You know what I mean? Really. And honestly, they should just let you guys take whatever you want at this point. Because I mean, what are they going to do with those discs?
That's what it made me think. It was they can clean out the inventory.
Save money on taxes. But I was going to say is it would be interesting though is they had a golden envelope for the last kind of go-outs. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. Yeah,
like the golden ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody kind of it's just kind of a memory kind of stuff.
But you know what would happen, right? You guys are thinking this is way too positive. There's going to be a film like Glitter that they have 1 billion fucking copies of. That's what you're all getting sent.
Yeah.
Congratulations! Thank you for being a customer for so many years. Here's Glitter.
Yes.
Here's Titanic. Or Terminator 2.
No, it won't be any of those. It'll seriously be like Glitter or From Justin to Kelly. That'll be your choices. Jeez.
So do you know, guys, in 2 days we have a zombie movie coming to limited theaters that stars Dan Aykroyd?
Oh, I saw that, the R.L. Stein movie.
Yeah, Zombie Town.
Yeah, with
no one's talking about it.
This is the first time hearing of it.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Again, when I say that there's no oxygen in the room once a release comes out or people are waiting on a release, it's absolutely true. You think a Dan Aykroyd zombie comedy, there should be some interest, right? There's none.
It's got Chevy Chase in it too.
Yep. I think it's PG-13. It's like a kind of like older kid kind of horror movie.
Zombie Town?
Zombie Town.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
About a haunted film reel that causes a zombie uprising.
Yeah, because Dan Aykroyd's like a director, and this is his haunted film kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of the kids in the hall in it. It's got R.L. Stein plays himself in it, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And no one knows this is happening in 2 days.
The only reason I know about the movie existing is because I follow R.L. Stein on Twitter. That's the only reason I know about this movie existing.
Wow. Yeah, I had no idea. No freaking clue. And you would think just R.L. Stein alone, that name would draw a lot of people's attention, you know?
There's something wrong going on with fandom. I'm just being honest here. Like, we just don't communicate with each other like the breadth of what's going on. We just talk about the same fucking 4 things. And like, this is probably not a great movie, by the way. I'm not promoting it for that reason. I'm just saying, like, it's curious that no one's talking about it, right?
It comes out in 2 days.
Trailer. It's you know, but it is weird that I didn't hear a single thing about it. And the trailer that I watched came out 2 days ago. So I don't know.
Okay, well, here's another shocker. There's a movie called Slaughterhouse about a killer sloth slashing its way through a sorority house that's coming to theaters, and nobody's talking about it either. It's a killer sloth in a sorority house.
I think Slaughterhouse is in like 3 screens though.
Still, we need to put a grassroots effort behind it, and so that it'll.
I'm gonna find out right now.
Is that the one? I take it they did. Is that where they did experiments on it, and that's why it's aggressive or something like that?
See, I don't know. I have no idea. I just know it's about a killer sloth at a sorority house killing sorority girls. Now, if it were directed by Jim Wynorski, I'd be all over. Whatever the nearest of those 3 screens is where I would go watch it. No marquee names anymore. That's kind of true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I am very wrong. This thing has screens in every state in the country.
Wow. Nice.
I'm just gonna bring up Kentucky just for shits and giggles to see how many screens it has. So it's playing in 5 cities: Lexington, Newport, Nicholsville, Okolona.
Wow.
Wilder. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
This is playing today, 20 minutes from now, 20 minutes away from me.
Wow.
I might go see this week.
It's about 40 minutes from me right now is the closest theater.
Oh, Ben says his friend went and saw Slaughterhouse tonight and said it's actually pretty good. So, hey, let's go check it out. You know.
So is it like a Deep Blue Sea, sort of like for sloths?
Emily Young, a senior, wants to be elected as her sorority's president. She adopts a cute sloth, thinking it can become the new mascot.
You can't do that.
And help her win until a string of fatalities implicate the sloth as the main suspect in the murders. I don't recognize any of the cast.
That's a shocker.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else the director.
A-listers didn't sign on to the Killer Sloth movie.
They're all aliases.
Tagline says, "Don't rush, die slow."
So that's,
It's PG-13.
Yeah, it's actually rated PG-13. I'm surprised it's rated PG-13.
Wow.
Well, okay.
It looks like a puppet.
I don't. Well, that's all part of the charm. That's all part of the charm.
Obviously, there no sloths were injured in the making of this movie.
Thank God. Thank God.
Well, if it had been a honey badger movie, they could have tried to hurt it, and it still wouldn't have worked.
That's true. Yeah. Honey badgers are resilient creatures.
It's like I've seen videos like tigers try to bite them, and they just don't care. They're just sitting there like, "What are you doing, cat? Go."
Puppet's awesome.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's like you said, Piz. You got to support horror in the theaters.
Yes, let's go support Slaughterhouse, and if the R.L. Stine zombie movie is near you, go watch it too. Why not? We want a Slaughterhouse series. Bring us the Slaughterhouse series. That's what I'm
Let's not
talking
get ahead of ourselves here.
We actually had a couple of passings I want to discuss here briefly as well. If you're a professional wrestling fan, we lost Bray Wyatt recently, which was very sad. He was only, I think, 36 years old. And from what I heard, he had a heart issue, and he was wearing a external defibrillator. He was supposed to wear an external defibrillator. His doctor told him, you should be wearing this at all times. And he went home and took a nap and never woke up. And they found the external defibrillator in his car.
Oof.
That's rough.
Yeah. Only 36 years old. And a really talented guy. His whole, Bray Wyatt and the Fiend and that whole gimmick that brought horror. And he was he would, he did the Exorcist spider walk in the ring, and he definitely brought a horror aesthetic to things, which I thought was really interesting. And of course, they completely mismanaged him and pretty much ruined it. But he was a talented guy.
Yeah, and the son of IRS too.
The son of IRS, yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
Wyndham Rotunda, I think was his name. Yeah. So very sad, very talented guy taken from us too soon, and we also lost the legend, Terry Funk. So pretty sad.
He also had a bit of horror to him at one point when he first showed up to Raw as Chainsaw Charlie.
That's true. That's true.
Like literally chainsawing out of a crate.
Mm-hmm. And he wasn't he? Oh, he was in Roadhouse. Terry Funk. Yeah.
My not that I'm a huge wrestling fan, but I remember Terry Funk in the ECW whenever it was starting to get some steam and stuff like that. And there was Taboo and Taz and all of them, but Terry Funk was kind of like the older guy that was kind of like upping them, bringing them along.
Right. Yeah.
Because I feel like he was in like the main event of like their first pay-per-view or something like that.
I'm sure he was. Yeah. But yeah. Very sad. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about tonight? Any topics y'all want to discuss? Okay. Oh, let me throw this out there first. Who's playing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game?
I played like a round or two. I haven't had the chance to sit down with it, but I like it.
Okay. Are you on PlayStation or Xbox?
I play it on my PC, but I might get it on PlayStation, but I'm on PS5, and I don't know. I don't think PS4 can play with PS5. I might be mistaken.
I think so. There's a lot of crossplay nowadays.
Yeah,
possible.
I don't know.
I think it's not cross generational. Like the current gen PlayStation and Xbox can play together, and I think Steam too. But like only PlayStation, if your PlayStation the previous whatever console, you can only play cross platform with.
I don't know, because I know for Street Fighter 6, you can cross platform generational.
And I may be mistaken. Somebody may
possible
look it up, but yeah, so
couldn't do cross gen, but I didn't actually look into it. But I do like it. I know you and Christian have been doing live streams or something, right?
Well, I was good. I've got the game. I'm ready to roll. I just need to put a team of killers around me to carry me until I get the hang of it. So I'm just looking for a good team of killers.
Yeah, I'll find out if it's cross-gen. If it is, then I would definitely be down to play. I just gotta.
I love the way the cook runs because he's got his little stick and he kind of like they did the cook justice because he in the game he's all kind of weird and so I'm like I'd rather be the cook than Leatherface.
I got to play as Leatherface a couple times. It was pretty fun.
Okay, all right.
Is it play as Grandpa?
I only played as Leatherface. So
you can't play as Grandpa. You've got to protect Grandpa.
That's right. Yes,
because the survivors can go up. Survivors can find him and because Grandpa is like the if you're too loud, Grandpa will hear you, and that will alert the killers like where you are. And the longer the game goes, the more sensitive like Grandpa's hearing becomes.
Yeah, and you can like feed him, and then I think he gets like you can like find the victims easier. So I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, you feed him blood.
Yeah.
So, what I've seen of it looks pretty fun. So, I'm interested in hopping on and giving it a run. So
is it the same setup as the Friday the 13th game to where?
Pretty much, it seems that way. I mean, if you're a survivor, the intent is to escape. Like you put things together, like you kind of like in Friday the 13th game, and then you escape. Whereas with if you're a killer, of course, you make sure that doesn't happen. So.
I'm surprised nobody talked more about the Puppet Master game.
There's a what?
There's a Puppet Master game.
Is there? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
It's on Steam.
Okay. All right.
It's the same thing as like Texas Chainsaw, Dead by Daylight, kind of stuff like that.
But you're playing as like the little one of the puppets?
Yep.
Okay.
Hunting down survivors.
Yeah, there is, huh?
Can you play as Leech Woman?
I think you play as Pinhead, Blade, Six Gun.
Six Gun's cool.
I think the Torch guy as well. I can't remember.
Okay.
That's cool.
What about Mortal Kombat 1? Anybody going to be playing Mortal Kombat 1 when it comes out?
I'll watch someone play it. I'm so bad at fighting games. It's
The thing is, I started playing Street Fighter 6. I haven't played Street Fighter games since 2, but I enjoy the hell out of Street Fighter 6. But I may pick up 1. I don't know because I haven't played Mortal Kombat since 3. So I'm kind of far behind, but it looks cool.
I love Mortal Kombat. I love the whole lore and the story and the characters and everything.
Was it a reboot?
This is the quote unquote new era. So, but yeah, when it comes to actually fighting people online, I mean, like I get like, I've got big fat slow fingers and like, I can't do the inputs quick enough and I get frustrated. So yeah, it's, it gets heated. So I would never live stream it because you guys would see me like throwing things and cursing and raging. And, yeah.
Nothing will make me madder than a video game.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating. And the last Mortal Kombat game I bought, it was for the Xbox One. I never could do a finishing move. I never could figure it out. And I'm like, that's the whole purpose of having Mortal Kombat was to do the finishing move.
The blood and the gore.
Yeah. And I just never went back after that. I love that series. That franchise is great.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. Yeah. Pat Master's going to be playing some Mortal Kombat. Well, his nephew's going to be playing some Mortal Kombat. Yeah, the story modes are always pretty fun. Yeah, I think this one will be good too.
Who's your favorite character?
Baraka. Yeah, he's my favorite.
So you enjoyed Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool?
No. But they've actually they've like the new Baraka storyline is a lot different. He's gone from like bloodthirsty jobber to like they've given him this whole like he's like a doomed freedom fighter now. So I really like what they've done with him. So that's really cool.
Does his teeth still look the same?
He's instead of like his race of people are like they've been infected with like this disease that causes them to have the fangs and like the protrusions and like the big blades and whatnot. So It kind of sounds like what was that disease from Game of Thrones that turned people into stone or whatever?
I know.
Something like that.
Grayscale?
Grayscale, something like that, yeah. And they get worse and worse, and the worse it gets, the more monstrous they become, and eventually they just go crazy and die. So, but he's fighting for his race, which I think is kind of cool. So they've definitely did a total character change on him.
I have just always loved Sub-Zero and Johnny Cage.
Oh yeah,
which Johnny Cage is essentially Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah. In fact, the new Mortal Kombat 1, if you pre-order it, it's a Jean-Claude Van Damme skin for Johnny Cage.
There is, yeah. Yeah, they said they finally worked out a deal with Jean-Claude Van Damme to get, because they've always wanted him to be a part of the game. They said, Johnny Cage was modeled after him, really. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they'll record him doing like the Cage voice, or they'll record him doing some stuff too. So it'll be funny. Jeremy's favorite MK character. That's a good one. I think he'd probably say Scorpion. I think Scorpion would be his favorite.
I feel like he had the easiest move, the throw the spear.
Yeah.
That to me was just the mainstay, that it was just so easy to do. You just did it over and over again.
I'm looking forward to that. They're making a sequel to the Mortal Kombat movie that came out a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I'm looking forward to that.
Another one to do a sequel for.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I liked the movie.
I know some of the guest characters for MK1 is going to be Omni-Man from Invincible, Homelander, Peacemaker, and I think like two others.
Yeah, two other Mortal Kombat characters. But they're anything else you guys want to discuss tonight?
Hey, I wanted to ask y'all a general rule on spoilers.
Sure.
So is there a certain time frame to where you can actually give a spoiler and it not like matter? Or should you always warn before you say, even if the movie's 20 years old?
I mean, King Kong dies at the end. I'm sorry.
I have actually had people in the comments of old videos for movies that are even older than the video, like, well, thanks for spoiling it. And it's like, this video's 5 years old for a movie that came out in 1982. How do you spoil a movie that's older than you are?
Yeah, that's 41 years ago.
Literally, I've had comments from people who are like, thanks for spoiling this 30-year-old movie in your three-year-old video. It's like, what are you like? I don't know if they're trolling or if they're serious, but it's like I've had that before. So, but I think here's the thing with spoilers. I think I've kind of, like, when I see a review, and I've done this myself, but like when I see a review and like it's big bold letters, spoiler free, it's like, so you're only kind of giving me half the review then. It's like you're only going to tell me basically what I already know, the plot. And I think it's good. An end of video. I'm not going to watch a review until I've seen the movie. So if it's a movie you're interested in, don't watch reviews or read reviews until after you've seen it. And just leave the spoiler, non-spoiler stuff alone. If you do a review, like at this point, if I do, I may not give away everything, but I'm not worried about giving some stuff away in a review. I don't worry about that anymore. Because most people, I think, are like that. And that's what I encourage. If you're really interested in a movie, watch it first, then go check out the reviews. So.
I might be really off base here, but I feel like if a film is really strong, people don't want to spoil it. So in other words, like, Tyler Durden's Identity was something that you didn't walk into that film having 7 people whisper into your ear, because they wanted you to experience what they experienced. The ending of the original Saw was another case where people weren't spoiling it because it was too good and they wanted people to have it. But on the other hand, it's like people go, oh, well, don't spoil the new Halloween film. Well, congratulations. It's not going to. What do you think is going to happen? Because that's exactly what's going to happen in the movie. You don't need someone to worry about spoilers. It's hey, do you think a guy with a knife is going to stab a lot of people?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think the shark's going to eat someone in that Jaws movie?
I recently watched Old Boy for the first time. Somehow managed to avoid spoilers my whole life. But I also wasn't seeking out. I wasn't looking for people who were going to tell me what was happening in the movie. You know, I wasn't looking at reviews. I've heard it's a legendary movie. That's all I want to know. I want to. Same with like Barbarian we talked about earlier, where it's like the less you know, the better. Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to. I want to judge a movie for myself, and then kind of have a retrospective after I've seen it. Be like, okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. I'm not necessarily trying to like be like, should I watch this movie or shouldn't I? But maybe I just have seen so many movies that I have a good sense of whether it's worth it for me to watch or not. But I don't know.
So okay, let me jump in here with something that irks me even more than the spoiler-free reviews. Ending explained videos.
Yeah,
I don't understand ending explained videos. And there are some ending explained videos on YouTube that have millions and millions and millions of views, and it's like, and it's for movies that do not need their ending explained in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Piz, 15 things you missed in Star Wars. You know, listen, guys, no one missed anything at this point. It's all been explored. Yeah, now that's the worst part of YouTube, honestly, is the stuff that you find yourself clicking on because you're like, this is asinine. And then you click on it anyway, which is what you wanted.
Yeah, like a Watch Mojo list or something.
Well, there's some people on YouTube who do really great breakdowns of movies that deserve to be broken down. I forget the guy's name.
Collative
Learning. He does some exemplary breakdown videos on movies like The Shining, which deserve to be broken down and analyzed. But like when I see somebody like The Boogeyman ending explained, I'm just like, who
literally tell you the ending.
Who needs that explained? And then I look and I see that they've got hundreds of thousands or millions of views. I'm like, I'm doing it wrong. I'm just doing this thing wrong.
Piz, you need to upload Psycho ending explained and just read the psychiatrist's dialogue at the end of the movie verbatim.
Yeah, millions of views, I guess. I don't know, but those are because and like YouTube knows, like they throw them in. I don't subscribe to any of these channels, but YouTube will throw them in my algorithm, I think, just to piss me off. It's so yeah.
Well, you know, I think there is that though, Piz. I honestly think the algorithm actually finds out our dislikes and suggests them as well. Because there's not a week of my life that goes by where YouTube isn't pointing like, Aliens is the best film ever made. Aliens is the perfect film. 15 things you missed in Alien. Aliens ending explained. So I do think there's something about like if you're annoyed by something, you're getting more of it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
But back to the spoiler-free thing. Does any? I mean, like you would. Some people like to have things spoiled for them before they see the movie. So there's a lot of people who really like that, and I don't get that. But there's a lot of people who they will go to the spoiler before they see the movie. They'll want to know the spoilers. They'll go into a Scream movie wanting to know who the killers are.
Which is literally the only thing you haven't seen before in a Scream movie.
Yeah. See, I'm almost at a point now where I don't even want to watch the movie trailer. I want to go completely blind.
Yes.
Talk to me. They had the Exorcist trailer was on before that movie, so obviously I saw that today.
Mm-hmm.
But I was almost like, should I look away from this? Because I just
yes. Not for the reason you think. Body in the blood. I'm like, this is so bad.
I would say it's treat like the Ark of the Covenant. It's gotta look away.
Yeah. It almost made me into a Christian.
I really hope there's a lot of Pazuzu references in it. Like I hope they put the heretic to shame with the number of Pazuzu references in it. But that would at least make it somewhat entertaining, I think. But
you know how many times the word Pazuzu is used in The Exorcist or Exorcist 3?
I thought zero.
Yeah. That's also an indication of which films are good or not.
Yeah. See, but it's like I'm just trying to think of, so the girls are possessed. It's going to be the same demon. Mm-hmm. The demon's going to recognize the mom. That's going to bring in Linda Blair's character. I'm just thinking how they're going to play that out.
Ellen Bernstein originally, because she wrote a book.
Yeah.
Mm. That's right. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, how do you stretch this out to 3 movies?
I mean,
effectively, I should say.
I guess.
Did you miss the point where they made 2 prequels to the first film and neither one was good?
Mm.
They'll find a way. Find a way.
With this franchise, absolutely.
They'll have Linda Blair strapped to a bed in the next one again with spitting green soup at people, pea soup at people.
Yeah, the spirit's going to transfer to her. The demon will. Yeah. And then that'll be the second movie, or
that's the whole point. The demon wants back in her. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Well, we also turn out that the demon Pazuzu killed Father Karras' mom. This is suddenly out of nowhere. It's like, oh hey, yeah. By the way,
it's tied back.
Exactly. It's like, remember this movie was really good. We're going to tie it all into it now.
I would pay money for a really janky, like a Jason Miller CGI.
That is exactly where a Force Ghost Jason Miller.
Force Ghost.
I'd be all for it at that point.
I would too. I'd love it. I'd love that point. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. And again, we haven't seen this movie. It may all work.
Or let's tie it in. Let's tie it into Exorcist 3, and we'll have a Force Ghost George C. Scott going, "Get out of there, you effing!" Like shooting at it with his ghost gun. That fish is still in my bathtub.
Oh my god!
We're fine.
That's one of my favorite moments of film history. He's having a mock fight with his best friend in a hospital bed. And the nurse comes and goes, "Hi guys!" Like, "We're fine."
Oh my god!
It's almost scarier than the demon.
George C. Scott is scarier than any demon. Any demon, yeah.
You know what's really great though, and this is going to sound like a weird aside. If you've read Legion as a novel, the one thing I'm really proud of is that, like Laddie said, I'm taking all the speeches and soliloquies that I left from the book, all my precious moments, and I'm keeping them. Fuck you guys. I don't care. Because like in traditional screenwriting, you don't include that stuff. That all gets cut. And he kept them all. I mean, the ending's completely different because it has to be, because the book has very much a book ending, and this has a movie ending. Actually, it has 2 movie endings. But I love the fact that he kept the integrity of the piece, even though it had to change. And that's like it's more miraculous than the first film, which is, besides some time issues, pretty close to the novel. Yeah, to the point where in the beginning of The Exorcist 3, they make a reference to the first Exorcist novel that is not in the first Exorcist film. That's how we're doing the book. I don't care. And that's why it's great.
That was Legion, a sequel to his first book?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened is Exorcist was a phenomenon as a novel. It was really, really big in a way that a novel almost can't be today. They made the film. He was 90% happy with the movie. There's things he hated about him. He hated the pea soup. He hated the hand spin because he thought it didn't need it. He was happy when the spider crawl, which was supposed to happen way later in the film, got cut entirely. In that current director's cut, that scene happens way too early. It is way out of place because she's more normal afterwards. It was supposed to be later, but whatever. It's where it is now. But they made The Heretic without, they had the rights to do it, but they didn't consult him at all.
Right.
And he apparently was so appalled and angry that he went home and I always said I was never writing a sequel to this thing, but I'm writing a sequel to this thing so that fans of the book and the movie, the first movie, have a real sequel. And I think it was 82. It gets published. It did really well. It was really well received. And then it took to 1990 for someone to say, okay, why don't you go ahead and make this thing into a movie? And he said, well, I'm not selling you the rights. Either I make it or it's not happening. Because that's how little he trusted Hollywood at that point.
Right.
And any other filmmaker at any other time would have gotten a big no, right?
Mm.
It's a miracle that movie exists. That movie is a miracle in many ways. 1990 and 91 are kind of interesting years because it's before the Great Horror Drought, but we get past the kind of silly horror of the 80s and we start getting Candyman and Exorcist 3, and it looks like everything's going to go swimmingly, and then we hit a brick wall and nothing goes on for 5 years.
Right. That's interesting.
Mm.
Why did the studio not use him for the second one, or not use him, but communicate with him at all? Was there a rift between them?
I think it was just the kind of case, whereas he had expressed that he didn't want to do another, and so they just took his word at it. And they listen, on paper, Heretic is not an atrocious film.
Right.
On paper, all that it seems to work. It's when you actually have to make it into a coherent film that it gets wonky. And then you have other problems. You have a lead actor who's drunk constantly on set. You have Linda Blair being, I hate to say this, but out of her depth for the role.
Mm-hmm.
She looks good. The performance isn't good. Then you have like other stuff like a score that's bombastic but doesn't match the movie at most times. You have a director whose style is kind of flamboyant for the material. Like, I mean, we didn't need point of view locust shots.
No.
That's not The Exorcist. It's not. It was just a combination of a lot of things. And then they changed, after releasing the film, they pull it and change the ending a week in.
Mm. I
mean, there's a whole lot wrong with Heretic. And I know there's a minority of people who really do like the film, but I feel like it's liking the film for its audaciousness. And I get that, but every time I go back to the film and I watch it, I'm like, yeah, but it sucks. It's audacious, sure, but it sucks.
Yeah,
Richard Burton may put his worst performance on film in that film. So
I was going to throw that out there, that, like, really good director. John Boorman just the year before had been nominated for an Oscar for Deliverance.
Yeah.
So great cast. Richard Burton, James Earl Jones,
in a locust suit.
In a locust suit, of course. Yeah. You just have a crazy script that according to Linda Blair was rewritten constantly. Richard Burton was he had his drinking issues, and it came out sideways. So yeah, and it's considered like one of the, you follow up The Exorcist with something like Exorcist 2. I mean, it's a wonder Exorcist 3 even got made. Or, you know what I mean? Like that should have killed anything Exorcist related at that point.
I think he didn't even want it to be Exorcist 3. I think he just wanted it to be called Legion.
He did. Yeah. He wanted it to be called Legion. And they said, like, well, wait a minute. We want to call this Exorcist 3. And he goes, but there's no exorcism in it. So they forced him to go film an exorcism at the end. Because the original ending is just he shoots Brad Dourif to release, to release him from inside of Father Karras, just shoots him to kill him, which is not it's not a very cinematic ending.
And even that is slightly tweaked from what he wanted to do. He wanted to literally have Karras come through and have this slight speech, and then the demon starts taking a moment. He curls over and he finally was a shoot me, Bill, and Bill shoots him. And that even gets truncated and changed for the theatrical version, for the director's cut, because that material doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Did you guys know the book ending?
No.
Okay, Swaggy. Spoilers for a book that's been out since 1982. And if you haven't read by now, you probably aren't. So, do you remember the reason the Zodiac Killer says he committed murders to begin with?
The Zodiac or the Gemini?
I'm sorry, the Gemini.
Gemini.
It is the Zodiac.
This
but
is
it's
a good
kinda
idea.
Yeah, but no.
It was his father, right?
to shame his father, whose name began with Carl, whose name began with a K. That's why he killed
That's
everyone
right.
with a K. Right.
That's right. Yes.
So, in the book, his father dies, and because the father is now being tormented in hell, he's got his revenge. So the spirit leaves. Karis dies from his wounds he suffered.
Huh.
Book ends with a speech about great literature and the problem of evil.
Huh.
And it works like a bitch for the novel. It's so well done. But that would not work.
Yeah.
But it would not work for a movie.
No.
And the studio was just like, we need a big exorcism. Now,
Yeah.
I got to spend, I've said it a million times, I got to spend a little bit of time with Blatty in Philadelphia one night, and it was the highlight of my life, probably. And he hates the exorcism ending. And I said to him, you know what? I think it's pretty great. It really works. You should be proud of it. And he says, but the special effects guys, they kept wanting to do more and more and more. And I kept saying, I get we have to have this be big and exciting because the studio wants it. But can we do something that has a little substance?
Mm.
And I disagree. I think it's a great ending. I like the theatrical ending kind of
too.
more than the director's cut.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
He did not. But he was a very generous soul. He was a great human being. He was funny. And we should know that because he wrote Pink Panther movies.
Yeah.
But
comedy. He was a comedy guy before The Exorcist.
Yeah, and television drama. He was just a great creator, but he was a really genuinely good person. And one of the things I said to him, which he actually received really well, is I said, you have to understand, you're one of my big heroes. I'm an atheist. You're a hardcore Catholic. And you mean like everything to me. And he was like, that's the point. What a great human being. And I'm sorry. Blatty should be, every time you think of the great horror writers of all time, you should think of him. And he didn't write much horror. But he was one of the greats, the true greats. I don't think we need an Exorcist beginner. I don't think we need Exorcist Deceiver. I don't think we need Exorcist 3, whatever that's going to be.
Golden Retriever.
Well, it's all tainted with just this like greed.
Right. And like, to me, it's very personal because like Blatty's work means a lot to me. That's probably pretty obvious to you guys, right? But it's like every time this happens, I have this sinking feeling. Like when the prequel was announced, I had a bad feeling. And then they pulled the fucking movie because it tested so bad and they reshot it with a different director. And I was like, please, can we not? This was always a bad idea. Can we not? And then you saw those films. Neither one of them were worth your time.
So I saw Exorcist the beginning in the theater when it first came out. Traumatized me for life. The very next movie I went to watch in the exact same theater, they accidentally started rolling Exorcist the beginning again. I immediately went into PTSD. Like I remember grabbing when I realized what was happening. I grabbed it. I like bolted out of my seat to run and tell them, "Look, you're playing the wrong movie." And they're so this was film too. This was before digital, so they had to go in but they started rolling Exorcist the beginning again, and I was like, no. I ran out of that theater to get them to stop that.
And that's the better version of the prequel. That's scary.
And freaking what's his name? Great filmmaker. Schrader. Great filmmaker. Great writer.
Wrote Taxi Driver. What was he on when he was doing? Again, I think on paper it probably looked great, but it's duller than anything to watch.
So boring. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Nazis kill a village and it bore you? Because that happens in that film. In Dominion.
So boring. Ridiculously boring. Yeah.
And the one thing you can say about both the films that Blatty had something to do with is those films are never freaking boring. Ever.
Yeah. I mean, at least Harlan's Exorcist, you go, that's a Rennie Harlan Exorcist movie. with the Schrader Exorcist movie, you're going, this is you're just out like a light.
It's one of those films that you wonder if anyone had actually seen all of, because I think my attention went left. That's for sure.
I don't remember. I really remember nothing about it.
I remember the really bad CGI hyenas. That's what I remember.
Oh my God, you reminded me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, remember there was hyenas in the first film in one scene. Let's put them in throughout this freaking movie.
Not to dwell on The Exorcist, but of course, everybody talks about the possession scenes and the the power of Christ and yada yada yada. I love the beginning of that film in the desert too. I love the beginning of that film in the desert because it just sets up that movie so perfectly, and it sets the tone, and you just know that bad stuff is going to happen.
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right. Yeah. Yeah.
It brilliantly too. Like that opening does something that a lot of great films do, which is take one time period and substitute them for another. For instance, for Twin Peaks fans, Twin Peaks reflects the 50s, but it takes place in 89, right?
Yes.
It feels like a time period, but it takes place in a different time period. That opening of The Exorcist feels like we've gone back 2,000 years, right? There's cars, so it takes place in 1972 or whatever, but it feels like it's reflecting the biblical era. It feels like, so when Marin shows up at the end, it is like one of the patriarchs of the Bible showing up to do war, to go to war with this demon. It's really well done. It's really smart. It feels a little bit intangible, which all great spirituality should, and it tells you the ending of the book of the story, which is the idols is scripted with the in Aramaic the words evil defeats evil, and at the end, suicide, which is a mortal sin, defeats the demon. Oh, sorry, spoiler! One of the most famous films. If you're watching a horror broadcast, I understand how you might miss this one. It might be a blind spot for. So I just think like the quality of those two movies is so high. They're two of the best horror films ever made, and I just don't see unless you got someone of the quality of a Blatty, which raise your hand if you think that person's out there. Don't do it. Leave this be. I'm not saying that about something like you want to make it again. Go ahead, make it again. Okay, right. I don't care. It's not the first was the last two like surprised me in the quality, and the second one did exactly what the second one half is always going to do. But like, The Exorcist is something a little bit more special. It's a little bit more sacrosanct. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
I loved in the third one too the dialogue and the delivery inside of the isolation room, and just the look of I can't remember the characters, but George C. Scott's character and the other and then they had the windows with the light coming down. Like that's perfect. That was such a great.
There's a cool subliminal in that room.
It's simple, but it's so effective.
If you watch it closely enough, you'll see that the room changes in a very slight way, but it means everything. It's very cool. Again, the quality of these two films is not to be underestimated.
No.
And I'm sorry, I don't think that Green is that kind of filmmaker. Maybe he'll surprise me, but he hasn't surprised me thus far. I skipped out on his last one, but the two that I saw in the genre does not give me hope.
Lauren, you really should sit down and watch Ends. You really should. It's 90 minutes of your life. That's it.
Go fund me. Bring it up to a point where I'm willing. I'll do it for money.
I may have a digital code laying around here somewhere.
Don't waste it on me. Give it to someone who has a chance of liking it. Seriously.
I don't know, Lauren. You may, I don't know.
I got to go back and rewatch that. I just don't know where I landed with that.
Of the three, it is the most interesting. Of the three, it is the one that people will be talking about and debating for years to come. Not the other two.
Oh yeah.
On that level alone, I think you should give it a visit.
And the thing is, I liked Ends until the ending. Like I was liking it so much until like the very end. It's like, oh, it's the same thing again. Yeah. I mean, they had to kind of go back to the well, I think, for the just to wrap it up. It's not to go too deep in the woods on that trilogy. That trilogy to me so backwards, and how they set it up. It should have been completely reversed, and it's crazy. It's crazy how they did that. But
to millions is the most interesting. It's the one that people will be talking about for the longest time, and yada yada yada. So, and I'm gonna meet Corey Cunningham very soon, so I may have a complete fanboy moment with Corey Cunningham. So,
and I mean, despite the negative on that trilogy, financially, that trilogy made a ton of money.
It did.
Ton. I mean, like that opening weekend for that first movie was, they never could have projected that. That was unreal.
Yeah, for the 2000. Yeah, I know. We've got Olivia watching with us tonight. How are you doing tonight, Olivia? Here's an interesting question from our buddy Grave Dank. If you guys could remake a horror film, which one would you choose?
The problem is all the films I love, I don't want to remake.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's pick a bad horror movie that had potential and do right the wrongs. What's a horror movie that had potential that didn't quite execute that we can correct?
I gotta look at my collection.
Yeah, I'm looking through
The Guardian.
Oh no.
Safe in The Guardian.
It had potential. On paper, it sounded so good.
Wait, I got one. And Pez, I know you've seen it. So, The Initiation of Sarah, which did get a remake, but in name only.
Okay.
I think that's a film that I've always wanted to like, and always kind of just feels blah to me. But it has a great premise. I'm not sure exactly what you do to make it better, but I'd be willing to take on that challenge.
Okay.
And no one in the chat knows the movie, so they all are like, "What?" Well, Nico knows it. Nico, back me up.
I could see it. I could see it. I can see it.
It'd be something like that, though. That a film that I think had a base idea that's pretty great, and the movie itself is just not bad, but like it's not there.
Okay. Anybody else?
Racking my brain.
Maybe the Nightmare on Elm Street remake does have a magnet go over the hard drive. Just remake it with that.
You know, it would be great if it didn't fully erase the movie though, and it was just scattershot and weird and
exactly.
That would work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Killer Workout.
Killer Workout. Yeah.
Killer Workout's perfect the way it is, man. Come on. What do you think?
Is it?
Not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
What would be a good one? So I'm gonna throw this one out there. So a few years ago, there was gonna be a Silent Night, Deadly Night remake.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told what the story was going to be about, and it would have blown people's freaking minds. It was so good. It like combined the first two movies and brought them together, brought characters from the movies together. And it redid the whole thing. It was still Silent Night, Deadly Night, but it would have been so good. It would have been so freaking good. And it would have made horror fans just go ape, but it's not going to happen now.
You know what? I got one. I'm going to say Leprechaun in the Hood. I feel like that could bridge a lot of gaps these days. And I think there's a place for it in modern cinema.
Interesting.
I got one. It could be a sequel reboot. Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Ooh. All right. Okay.
You could continue that story, make it more modern, or you could just totally redo it.
I love Demon Knight. I love Demon Knight the way it is, but I mean, you could, You'd have to have Billy Zane back there.
I was going to say, yeah, he's crucial.
He was so good as the bad.
He got the shine in that one. Yeah.
You know what the problem with remakes is? It's that even if you're taking something that's flawed and making it better, which is a best case scenario and not the business model that exists now.
Right.
The problem is that you're taking resources away from that great screenplay that exists out there that hasn't been produced, right?
Mm.
So I think part of the reason we struggle is because movies are what they are. Like even the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Okay, take that as an example. I don't think there's a lot of defenders of that movie out there, maybe a few, but the truth is they made that movie. And it sits there and it is what it is. Like to go back and try and fix it, as opposed to just writing something or making something new with kind of some of the thematics, it doesn't even really make sense, right? I mean, maybe from a business perspective it does, but we're not thinking about this from a business perspective. You want to just say, what remake would you make to make money? We can do that and come up with names real fast. But the reason we're struggling is because from a purely like creative standpoint, remakes don't make any sense.
Mm.
When they work, like the Dawn of the Dead remake or the Hills Have Eyes remake, or even the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, they're still living in the shadow of the film that was their progenitor.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, 2 of the 3 cases there, I like the remake more than the original. Chainsaw is the only one I think that is kind of untouchable. But it still feels futile, even when they do justice. So I just don't know. I don't think we should be wanting sequels and remakes. I think we should be wanting Talk to Me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or even Last Voyages of Demeter, which is based on an existing novel, but we haven't had that chapter made into a full-length film.
Yeah, I think maybe new adaptations and stuff like the Demeter, that was a really cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
But remaking movies from the last even 40 years, it's like, is it worth it? I don't know.
Nico is not
so much out there to pull from. It's like, why are we pulling from these IPs that are just, they don't need to be expounded upon?
Yeah.
There's so much other creative material out there to work from.
Well, so to prove our point, last weekend Jurassic Park came back out to theaters and made $1 million. That happened.
Yeah.
30th anniversary, they rolled it out, and there you go. It's a proof positive that the power in those films has not diminished. It was competing with new releases and it ended up in the top 10.
Mm.
I guarantee everyone who went to the theater has seen the film before. So like, why go down that road? It doesn't really make sense. From a very selfish standpoint, we have 80 years of classic horror cinema that is unmined, not classic horror fiction that is unmined. And yet we are remaking films that have already been successful. It doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are the John Saul adaptations? Where are the Robert McCammon adaptations? Those are big names.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is Bentley Little still right?
Bentley?
Yeah.
Bentley? I was just in an anthology with Bentley that came out last month.
Okay.
So yeah, he's not only alive, still living off the grid. You cannot contact him. So yeah, he's still alive and working.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if that's going to come through. Bentley.
I mean, that's good. I'm glad that he's still doing his thing.
Where's his adaptations?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Where's the store? The Walmart horror movie? You tell me that's not commercial? That will work?
Interesting. Let's see what else is going on out in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I would. I would love to see some more original stuff and create some new horror icon. I mean, what was the last really original horror IP that really made waves? Are we talking about Terrifier? It's got to be Terrifier, right? Because I mean, Terrifier. I mean, Art the Clown's everywhere. Terrifier 2 was huge. I think they're re-releasing Terrifier 2. As a matter of fact, they're throwing it back out there in theaters for a while. So,
I don't know. I mean, maybe the Happy Death Day thing was on that trajectory, but the second film kind of short circuited it. I don't know, but maybe an icon isn't that important. Like again, Talk to Me as an example. The icon of that film is a hand.
Yeah.
So, and I love the fact that they didn't give it an embodiment, because if they had made it, because the film relies very much on the outline of Candyman to tell itself. So I'm glad there isn't a Candyman. They can't make the hand suddenly come to life and kill people in the next film. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm glad they can't turn it into something dumber as the sequels roll on. If they make sequels, I'm hoping they don't. But
that's the plan. Apparently, they've already. It's already happening.
And anything's possible, but I'm hoping that cooler heads prevail.
Mm-hmm. We shall see. Anything else on your all's minds tonight? Matt, you look like you're there's something around the tip of your tongue.
No.
Is it his tacos?
Was it
I do have
this guitar.
My new Leatherface next to me.
Okay. Yeah. I actually had that in my cart on Spirit's website, and I went back and forth on it.
Yeah.
And Christian actually sent me a video of it, and it looks really cool. So I don't know. I may have to go back and snag
If you have your 20% coupon.
Yeah. So I may have to grab it.
If you can find it.
What did you have that lit up? Was that a lamp?
With my
the Leatherface head?
Oh, that's my mask. It's back there.
Mask. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. That I actually got a Spirit Halloween as well. I've spent so much. I don't even want to think about how much money. It's not even the end of August, and I've spent a lot of money at Spirit Halloween.
That's every year for me too.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Do they have an awards program?
No, but they're always throwing out their coupons. 20% off this, 50% off buy one get 50% off. They're always throwing coupons out there. So. I was going to ask you, Matt, about your. I couldn't help but notice your collection of guitars there.
Oh yeah, this is some of them. I got a whole bunch.
It's a disease when you start. Yeah. What kind of is that? An ESP?
No, this is a 70s Hondo 2.
Oh, okay.
It's like a student guitar. I picked up for like $300. It's pretty cheap, but it's kind of banged up. But it was kind of a project. I put new pickups in it, new electronics and stuff.
Okay.
Because I tinker with them as well. Like this was actually my first guitar I ever owned when I was like 12 or 13.
Oh, that's cool.
And I replaced everything on here has been replaced except for the body and the neck. These pickups I put new. Everything, literally everything is new.
Okay, I like it. I dig it.
This guy here actually built I say from scratch. I bought the body and the neck, but I it.
That's a beauty.
Thank you. So, but yeah, I might do a video soon about just going through my guitars because this is like half of them. I've got
Okay.
like 10 guitars, so.
All right. So are you like a reverb guy? Are you like a mom and pop music store kind of guy, or what?
Yeah. I mean, I think half of them I've got from mom and pop places. Half of them I've got from like guitar. I actually used to work at Guitar Center a long time ago, and so some of them are from then. Some of them are from like just trades, and they've just come from all over the place. So I don't even.
Is your collection heavier on strats?
Yeah, well,
It seems that.
it is actually, which is funny because I used to not like strats, but now I have mostly strat styles. So yeah, I just grew to like them over time.
Is it just because of movement?
Yeah, I guess. Because originally I started off with strats, and then I kind of moved into like Telecaster styles, but I don't know. I still like Telecasters, but there's something about the strats. It's like you can just, I don't know, you get better.
Are the necks different on a Strat than a Telecaster? Well, I love the necks on Strats. Are the Telecaster necks different?
They can be. It depends on the model. Like
Strats are more forgiving. They just are.
Especially like this one. This is super thin, but that's just because that's the model it was.
Mm.
Do you have a Jackson back there?
I do not have a Jackson, but this is my 7-string Ibanez. So
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice.
These all have like new pickups, but other than that, it's pretty much stock. So,
that's cool.
I barely know how to play 7-string. I just mess around with it from time to time. But...
One of the first times I ever went to Guitar Center, I was messing around in the bass section, and like of course the people who work there like, hey, plug it in, man, and just I've got it plugged in, and I'm on like 1, and you just barely hear it. I'm just like boom, 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 boom. This guy walks in, and every store employee sees the guy walk in and they all go, oh. He walks over next to me, grabs a Strat off the wall, plugs it in, cranks it up all the way, and just starts shredding. Loud as hell in the store, shredding. And he looks over at me and he goes, let's jam, man. And he reaches over and turns mine all the way up. And I barely know how to even play. So he's shredding and I'm going bum, 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 bum. But it's so loud.
Nirvana demo from '88,
right? But it's so loud. It's like rumbling the floor. You know what I mean? So he's shredding. I'm bum, 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 bum. And he looks at me and he goes, like he realizes this guy doesn't know what he's doing. So he literally turns his back to me and just continues shredding. And I very slowly just turned the amp down, unplugged, put the guitar back on the wall, and walked away. So
Good dick.
Yeah, but like he was like, all the employees were just like, oh, because they knew like this is the guy who comes in and shreds it and leaves.
Oh yeah, there's always that guy.
Yeah. Never buys anything. Just comes in and shreds.
He just wants to come in and cause chaos.
Yeah. So that was a it was one of the last times I was in a Guitar Center. So, yeah. Oh Lord. Yeah.
Well, now I understand how Lauren feels during wrestling talk.
No, you don't. let me help you. If you were to be thrust back in time to ancient Judea, everyone around you is speaking Aramaic and acting like what they're saying is very, very important. And you're like nodding in the right places, you think. And then you realize it's like, wait, they're talking about professional wrestling. I don't even have to even pretend. So you just shut off. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I want to say, like in the chat, they're talking about Near Dark. I know people love to talk about Fright Night. They love to talk about the Feldman one.
You mean the it's called The Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys.
You love it.
I don't like either of those movies that much. They're both fine, I guess. Whatever. I'm not really anti. I never connected with them. Near Dark I connect with on a huge level. I think it is the best vampire movie. Big budget commercial vampire movie of the 1980s. It's just amazing.
And
great cast.
It is getting a remake,
which is going to be a problem, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not. The problem with that movie is it has such a wonderfully weird, breezy atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love like just the desert as a character and these grizzled actors coming in playing these like cowboy vampires and how it's a little bit more of a realistic take. No one's turning into a bat in that movie.
No.
And I just think it sells itself really well by taking itself seriously, but it's still breezy. It's not trying to be a downer. It's a love story, but it's a love story not like in a I don't know, forced way. It feels really genuine. It's even sweet. I mean, I know people have problems with the ending. Spoilers, it ends. But I think the ending makes sense thematically because it's a film about heart and a transfusion. Kind of, it makes sense thematically. I dig the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I love Near Dark. Same thing with The Hitcher. Both written by Eric Red. The desert is a character in both of those films.
The desert is the inside of C. Thomas Howell's mind. That's why it's great. It works. Why don't movies today have this much to look at? It's really obnoxious.
I watched Stalker recently. Have you guys seen Stalker? By oh my god, what's his name?
While you're looking,
Andrei Tarkovsky.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh my god, you guys are just talking about like great like backdrops and stuff. That is it? I don't even know how to explain the movie. Huh?
That sounds like Tarkovsky.
Okay, so you've seen a Tarkovsky movie. So
Yeah.
Stalker, it is one of my new like all-time favorite movies, and it is just such a it's a visual smorgasbord of an atmospheric. It's just so cerebral and crazy, and I highly recommend it. Or any of his movies really, but that one just stuck out in my mind.
Okay,
You're talking about the desert and stuff, so it doesn't take place in the desert, but the thematically. So.
My buddy Jeremiah has an interesting question. What non-horror directors could make a great or at least interesting horror movie? My vote would be the Coen brothers. With how dark their stuff is already, I think they could make a great one if they tried. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
No Country for Old Men is kind of it's about the horrors of growing old.
And they wrote Crime Wave for Raimi, which is a crime/comedy horror film. So maybe they're a good choice. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that's a very good choice. Yeah, very good choice.
That makes me think, if you're a good director, could you do any type of genre?
Yeah, if you're a good director, I think you could.
Well, I think even George Lucas, didn't he make American Graffiti just to spite somebody? Like, and that like became like great.
I do not want to see a George Lucas horror film.
No. But
aliens will be involved.
Yeah, there you go. But I think if you're a good enough director, you could pull it off.
So here's the thing. A couple caveats here. We have to ignore Seizure. I'd love a modern Oliver Stone horror film.
Yeah.
He wrote The Hand, so he's not opposed to the genre. And I'd say Natural Born Killers has like exploitation horror all over it, even though it's not a horror film. And that is my second favorite film of all time.
Yeah, have you got that 4K pre-ordered?
I don't have it pre-ordered because there's a price drop coming.
Okay.
I will own that. I mean, that's anything in my top 10. I will always update.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer for me. That 4K.
That's going to be stunning, unless they screw it up. But I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either. Oliver Stone. That's a good choice. Very good choice. Very good choice.
I mean, Seizure is a horror film. If you haven't seen it, it's just not a very good horror film because it's his first. But he was an amazing screenwriter. He really was. I mean, people forget he wrote Scarface.
Yep.
We should get back to it.
What about Tarantino?
I was thinking Tarantino.
Yeah, I know you got vampire movie he's done, but from
Well, he's always talked about wanting to do like a really hardcore horror movie. But I think I recall an interview with him where he said he had said he'd always wanted to do a hardcore horror movie, but then like he went back and he revisited The Exorcist. We're coming full circle here, and he was like, I couldn't do that.
No.
I just couldn't do that.
Because he says it has one tone and it doesn't deviate. Yeah. But you know what the problem with Tarantino is? That he made his slasher film called Death Proof, and it's awful.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
So I mean, it's definitely the worst Tarantino film. I haven't seen them all, so that's not fair. But by reputation, it is.
Yeah,
and I think it is. I think it's. I had the weirdest experience with Grindhouse. I'm not a huge Robert Rodriguez fan, but I love Death.
I did too.
Planet Terror, yeah.
Oh,
I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what this should be. And then we got to his, and it was so self-indulgent and ponderous, and it felt unfinished. I mean, that does not feel like a finished movie to me. And I don't mean the missing scene either. I mean, it just seems like people are making shit up as they go along. The dialogue is like hammy version of Tarantino dialogue. It's not, I don't know. I've seen Tarantino ripoffs that feel more legitimate than that. I do not like that movie.
yeah. I had this exact same experience with Grindhouse. Planet Terror, I freaking loved every second. The fake trailers I thought were incredible. And then here we go into Death Proof. Tarantino, I'm like, let's do it. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah, that was, yeah. Ooey.
And you're thinking Kurt Russell, Tarantino.
Yeah.
As an exploitation film, this can't fail.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it can.
Big time. I would like to see Michael Mann take another crack at horror.
It's getting up there.
I'd like to see him take another crack at horror. Well, and to talk, great filmmakers can make great films in any genre. I mean, like if you look at, look at not all of Carpenter's films have been straight up horror.
Yeah,
he's dabbled in other genres. Peter Jackson. Yeah, I mean, Wes Craven even did, what was that, Music from the Heart, for God's sake? What was that movie with Samuel L. Jackson he did? Or I'm thinking of somebody completely different. Oh no, I'll have to look it up. But
I would love Roland Joffe to make a horror film. Killing Fields, The Mission. That dude could bring some real feels to a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still alive. He's almost 80, but he's still alive. I had to check. I'm like, I'm not going to mention someone who can't do it. I mean, he probably still can't do it, but you know who I don't want to make a horror film anymore?
James Wan.
Kevin Smith. James Wan's another one. Kevin Smith. Keep Kevin Smith out of horror.
Oh man.
Okay.
Keep him out of a lot of stuff.
He might be a Jersey brother, but man, stick to what you're good at. Stay out of the genre.
So I had a friend of mine very passionately tell me that I need to watch Tusk.
Oh my God.
I don't know about need.
That he said that he wishes he could unsee it. It messed him up that bad.
Oh no. No. I wish I could unsee it too, but not for the reasons he suggested.
So I've not seen it. I've liked some of Kevin Smith's stuff. I like Clerks. I like Clerks 2. I thought Dogma was okay. What else?
Chasing Amy, if you only ever watch it once.
Chasing Amy.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Chasing Amy.
Was it Red State?
You did Red State.
I've not seen that one.
Red State was where I stopped. Like I saw Tusk, but that was by sheer accident. The last Kevin Smith genre film that I actually meant to see was Red State.
And I thought Red State was good.
I get why people like it. It didn't hit with me, but Tusk is a nightmare, and I don't think anyone's actually ever seen Yoga Hosers because it looks from the trailer to be intentionally one of the worst films ever made. So I don't know. Just please go back to what you're good. Well, he is going back to what he's good at. So just stay out of the genre. We need to gatekeep him out of the genre.
Anybody else want to throw out there some non-horror directors who they think would make good horror?
I want to say Ilham Klimov, who did Come and See, but Come and See in and of itself is basically a horror movie. So I don't know.
I'm curious about like directors that are very kind of like super niche, like either Wes Anderson or Christopher Guest. Like what the hell they could do with kind of horror or something like that. I'm just confused. Curious.
Guest would make his European death metal movie.
Yeah.
The trilogy finally completed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's part of the problem, Barney.
Was he in Tusk?
He sure is. He's the inspector. It's awful.
Oh, that's right. It's been so long since I've
It's such a bad performance. It's not funny.
Nico thanks you for the tip on the Stalker.
Oh, Stalker, yes. Highly recommend.
Also, can you confirm or deny that all Guitar Center employees are vampires?
Yeah. I wholeheartedly confirm all Guitar Center employees are vampires.
Okay. All right. See, I think a Wes Anderson vampire movie would have to star Owen Wilson, and that would just take me out of it right there.
Mm-hmm.
That would just take
me out of it. And Bill Murray.
And Bill Murray, yes.
It could be a comedy horror.
You reminded me. Oh, see, that reminds me of that. I don't even want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Were you going to talk about that flight?
I was going to talk about that zombie movie, that zombie comedy from Jim Jarmusch.
Oh, the Dead Don't Die, right?
Yeah. That was going to go there.
Oh my God, that's one of my least favorite theater experiences in life.
And I love Jim Jarmusch. Jim Jarmusch would be somebody who I think would make a good horror film, a nice grimy, down to earth horror movie. But that movie, oh God, oh.
Well, that movie was intended to be bad, and not in a fun way, and it succeeds wildly in what it wants to do. But the point is so not worth experiencing.
Yeah.
I mean, that should never have been released theatrically. No. Never.
And again, I love Jim Jarmusch, Ghost Dog, Broken Flowers, Dead Man, some great movies. But man,
what about a Nolan horror movie?
I'd like that. I'd like that.
Isn't Insomnia really close to that?
Close, I'd say close. Has anybody seen Following? His first film.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
It has all the obsessiveness that you'd expect from a Nolan film. It also has no budget. So it's like you feel like if he did it now, he could do it a whole lot better simply because the resources would be there. But he's not made a bad film. The worst he's done is made that third Batman film, which, you know, it doesn't work, but it's kind of a fascinatingly well made, not quite successful film.
What is it about that movie that doesn't work? Is it
the length?
Is it the length? The length is yes.
Because it wants to feel important and it thinks it has to be long and needs to draw everything out way longer than it needs to. If you would have condensed it would have felt a lot more pulpy and you would have been okay with some of the lapses in logic. Because when you're pulpy, you can, right? Mm-hmm. Some of our favorite films have huge lapses of logic, but because they're just dumb exploitation fun, you're good. Dark Knight Rises wants to feel really serious about itself. It wants to all be the scene with the boat and the bomb from the earlier film. Yeah. The whole film wants to do that, and it just feels like, oh my God, we go from one like moral dilemma to the next, and then we escape a nuclear explosion.
Yeah,
and it's just you invested 3 hours of your life for something that feels like oh, he's still alive at the cafe. What? Oh, spoilers for a film that everyone's seen. And no one really feels great.
I still think he's dead. I think he was just imagining it. Yeah.
maybe it was all just in Alfred's head. Yeah. I think there are some really good moments in Dark Knight. Like I love the opening and the plane, and I like when the Bane and his crew they destroy the football stadium, and it's like this. Are you the only man that can disarm this bomb? Yes. You know what I mean? Like I like that part. What excited me about it too was like, okay, so this is the broken Batman. Like he's gotten older, he's not a superhero, but this is where all the years of being thrown off things and getting his ass kicked, they've caught up with him. And now he's facing like his physically strongest foe. And But yeah, there's just something. I still like that movie, but there's just something about it that like it just doesn't come together well.
I think another thing is if you look at the previous film, there's a lot of characters who have. I'm not gonna say arcs because I actually hate that. Like when people throw that around, it's usually they don't understand what's actually happening. But there's usually a narrative for each character in great entertainment. And Dark Knight actually has that. Dark Knight Rises only has it for Batman.
Yeah,
no one else. Everyone else just does what the plot needs them to do. So in Dark Knight, Gary Oldman's Commissioner Gordon, or I guess he's not commissioner yet, but like that character comes off as more heroic and more soulful and does more with his scenes. So every time we spend some time with him, it's an investment that's worthwhile because the film's just as long, right? But everyone kind of gets their moment. Harvey Dent feels maybe a little rushed, but it's not a Darth Vader rushed, right? It still feels organic enough. The Joker feels like there's enough contradictions for it to be just properly an enigma. So it's like all the writing of the characters makes sense and works. Can you tell me what the hell? Do you remember anything about Catwoman's motivations in Dark Knight Rises?
Not a thing. Not a thing.
Her goggles turn to ears. Isn't that
right? And so that's the problem. Like nothing, like they invest all this time, but it's not used in service of character or story. It's just in the moment. Oh, Batman has his back broken, and how's he going to climb out of a hole in the ground? Yeah. Well, make that mean something. It doesn't in the movie. It really doesn't. Yeah. So, I think tighten that movie up a lot. It works as kind of like a more exploitation, like grimy kind of fun movie. As it is, it feels indulgent and self-important, and the characters aren't handled very well. And I have that box set, that Blu-ray box set. I never watch those movies. But I would say for the superhero genre, that's probably the peak.
Out of those three, the first one was my favorite. I just love Batman Begins.
I actually think that's my least favorite of the three, to be honest.
There's stuff I really like about it, but it kind of gets you to it's kind of a big cock tease of a movie because it's like it gets you to what you want and then the movie's over.
Yeah.
Maybe that's necessary though. I don't know.
Yeah. The Dark Knight is just so good. It's just so freaking good. I mean,
Though also with a Nolan horror movie, I'm curious what he would do with Gary Oldman. Because Gary Oldman just kind of like
good question
blends into whatever role he's in. So it'd be kind of crazy to see him in some kind of cool horror movie.
The problem with horror in Nolan is that Nolan likes to borrow from people like Harlan Ellison and the high concept science fiction and then put them in very naturalistic settings. And horror doesn't work that way. Horror is when you take something very normal and turn it into something surreal or disturbing. So it's kind of like the opposite of his skill set. So I'd love to, if he could figure it out, I'd be amazed because as a visual filmmaker, he's amazing. But I don't think he'll ever take it on because it's opposite what his interests are.
Yeah.
Doesn't he write a lot of his own stuff too?
He and his brother.
Yeah.
Memento, man, that was something.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Memento in the chat just a few minutes ago. Cool. Yeah, Memento's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Memento. The only thing I would say is I feel like if he did do a horror movie, I feel like the score would be way too loud for a horror movie.
The dialogue would blend in too much.
Exactly.
And at least one person would not be speaking in actual English. Or else watch it yourself. I know.
Well, let's call it a night, folks. We've covered a lot of bases tonight. It's been a really fun stream. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. Let me do some shout outs here. Shout out to Lost Tune, who is hanging out with us over on Twitch tonight. Thank you very much. Shout out to Nico for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that very much. And shout out to Future Dead Camper for 12 months of being a channel member. Very cool. Thank you. And let's see who's still with us tonight. There's Nico in the chat. We got Country Shape in the chat who is hanging out with us tonight. We got Bronson Wright Wolf, Wise Guy 100. We got Distorted Visions. How you doing tonight? I bet S. Craig Zoller would make a great horror film. Okay. Let's see who else do we have with us tonight. We had Alex Bacon. We had Alex Movie Collector. Jeremiah Lambert Art. Barney Likes Beer. We had Melissa. We had Scaps. Darren Hackney. Darren Burrows. Brian Trash. We had Olivia in the chat with us tonight. Yeah, thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. So appreciate you spending your hump night with us. Swaggy, where can we find you on social media?
I am on Instagram, and that's it. It's John's Cool World.
Okay, all right.
Thanks for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it, Piz.
Always a pleasure, Swaggy. Always a pleasure. Not Pat. Where can we find you on social media?
Just kind of wherever. On Twitter at Bonus Pretzel. On Instagram I never use, and Threads I never use yet. As that tall guy CZ. That's pretty much all I ever do. Is mainly on those things.
Okay. All right. Lauren, where can we find you?
Well, Lauren Dixon on Twitter. More importantly, visit by Voices One on the YouTube, and more importantly than that, just under my name, Lauren Dixon, on the Amazon, where you can buy some words I've strung together and publishers have bound into dead trees.
Matt, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me at Dream Emulator on YouTube and Dream Emulator on Instagram. Dream__emulator on Instagram. And just want to say tomorrow's my birthday, so if anyone wants to send me money or cryptocurrency, you can find me there, and I will link my Cash App.
Happy birthday, sir.
Happy early birthday, Matt. We 23, 24?
23.
23. That's a good year.
I think Swaggy should sing him happy birthday.
Swaggy.
Nothing I would want more. That's all I want from him.
Oh, man.
The floor is yours, Swaggy.
Happy birthday
And the internet was solved. The problem of the internet was solved tonight.
I wish I could pull out the Marilyn Monroe clip or something like that. That's what
Swaggy in a dress.
Matt, I will. Here's your spoiler on your birthday present from me, Replicator.
Oh,
so there you go, my friend.
Wow, what a birthday!
Did you buy? Did you buy the previous release from Video of Vengeance, Suburban Sasquatch as well?
No.
Oh,
dude, get on that. Get on that. You're going to have a ball. It is horrendous.
It's one of Harlem's favorite movies.
Summer Sasquatch? What's it called?
Suburban Sasquatch.
Suburban Sasquatch.
Those cop uniforms are hilarious.
Everything about the movie is amazing.
Just body parts being thrown.
Like the same arms and legs being thrown off of multiple victims. You're in for a treat.
Okay. I will have to look into that one. Country Shapes wishing you happy birthday,
shortest
man.
Bigfoot ever.
Maybe it's just a baby Bigfoot,
Dude, if you want to see a Hispanic woman play a Native American hunting Sasquatch who can basically phase through time and space, this is the only movie you're getting.
Okay. It's you've sold me. You've sold me there. So
and the Video of Vengeance release is pretty sweet, by the way.
Yeah, we were
exactly like it looked on VHS. So
we were talking about Video Vengeance a little earlier and how much, I appreciate them taking these movies and giving them, good Blu-ray releases.
Oh, yeah, you got Ellie AIDS Jabber from them, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. God, that movie's so good. Oh, that movie's so good. But we actually have another special guest here with a message for Matt. He wants to hop in really quick. Oh. Go ahead, hop in here, Fred. Tell us what you think of Matt.
He's a bad motherfucker.
So Matt got a little love from Fred Durst. He already knows.
And the
So-
night was ruined from a high point of Friday singing as Marilyn Monroe to Fred Durst.
Oh man, Fred's just happy that it's your birthday, Matt. What's that? He's just so happy it's your birthday, Matt.
It's
We celebrate
so
with us
sweet.
tonight. So,
Uh-huh.
but seriously, Matt, have a great birthday tomorrow,
Thank
man.
You.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right on, man. Happy birthday.
Thank
may
you.
may you have a great one, my friend.
I sure will.
All righty. Well, again, thank you everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you again real soon. Until then, peace.